$5. Check out the highlight stories and support your sponsors and purchase your program tonight. Students, teachers, parents, and fans, it's not too late to share tonight's live stream link to watch exciting Nighthawks football with family and friends. Go to delnortehsaf.org and click on the live sports link to watch free of charge, or take a photo of the QR code on any of the banners located in the stadium and watch the game live around the world for free. For the latest news, updates, the Nighthawk store, and events, visit the Del Norte football website at dnfootball.com. You can also find us on social media by searching DNHS Football on Instagram and Facebook. Football fans, make your way over to the Nighthawks apparel booth on the main concourse near the concession stand and pick up your Nighthawk football gear to support your Nighthawks. Sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats, and a whole lot more are all on sale now at the Nighthawks apparel booth. Fans, welcome to Oakley Night at Norte High School football. Make sure to check out the Oakley pop-up on Vendor Row on the Nighthawks concourse, where you can shop Oakley's latest styles and receive the gift with every purchase. To help move the game forward, Oakley has committed to donate 20% of all sales tonight back to DNHS football program. While you're at the pop-up, don't forget to sign up for the Oakley gift card raffle. The winner of the raffle will be announced at the end of the third quarter. Football fans, join us for the best barbecue in town. Stop by Joint Smoke Barbecue Plus and pick up a 3-meat combo meal. Combo meals are just $15. Joint Smoke Barbecue Plus on sale now on Vendor Row on the Nighthawks concourse. Fans, stop by the Handel's Homemade Ice Cream on Nighthawks Vendor Row and cool off with the #1 ice cream in the world. Handel's Homemade Ice Cream, serving the communities they love, and Nighthawks football, one scoop at a time.
Check, check.
Fans, don't forget to stop by the Oakley pop-up on Vendor Row. Here are the main concourse for the Nighthawks, and sign up for the Oakley gift card raffle. The winner of the raffle will be announced at the end of the third quarter. Fans, don't forget to watch KUSI and the Prep Pigskin Report tonight. Highlights and post-game reaction for tonight's game can be seen on the award-winning Prep Pigskin Report. Paul Rooney and the Red Jackets will take you on the most comprehensive tour of San Diego high school football this county has ever known. The fun begins at 10:45 with a PPR first and 15 at 11 p.m. It's showtime as we give you 75 minutes of highlights, interviews, and analysis you can't find anywhere else on the Prep Pigskin Report with KUSI. Good evening and welcome to beautiful Nighthawk Stadium on the campus of Del Norte High School for tonight's football game featuring the visiting team for the Torrey Pines High School Falcons and your Del Norte High School Nighthawks. Now, please welcome the Torrey Pines High School Falcons, led by interim head coach Scott Aspey, and the rest of the Torrey Pines High School Falcons. Now, please direct your attention to the north side of the end zone and welcome in your 2023 Del Norte Nighthawks. Football fans, get on your feet and welcome in your 2023 Del Norte Nighthawks football team, led by head coach Nick Barnett and the rest of your Del Norte High School Nighthawks coaching staff.
Oh, how fun.
Now, please direct your attention to midfield for tonight's coin toss. Football fans, once again, please direct your attention down the midfield for tonight's coin toss. Tonight's coin toss is brought to you by Bradley Heinz Realty, White Club Golf, Sunspark Solar, House Fan Pros, Claus Hair Studio, Boat Smiles Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, Isaacson Group, and Pacific Capital Investments LLC, Golden West Management Incorporated, Lippin Pizza, Marston Orthodontics, Toyota Poway, Brandt Electric Incorporated, and Handel's Homemade Ice Cream Del Mar.
The 2023 high school football season is here. Welcome everybody to Friday night under the lights at Del Norte High School, the first iteration of the new season here on Nest, along with the esteemed Blake Isaacson. My name is Jonathan Rifkin, back for another season, baby, and we could not be more excited for what this season has in store. Blake, we are breaking for the national anthem. When we come back, Blake has a whole amazing analysis to give you. Prior to this game, we have an interview with Coach Barnett we'll get to. A ton of stuff coming up next right here on Nest. Del Norte Torrey Pines opening night. Keep it here with us.
And the men and women who are serving for us, those who are serving out, those getting ready to serve, please remain standing and performing the national anthem. Please welcome the Del Norte Nighthawks School Marching Band, who will now present the Star Spangled Banner.
Band sounds in mid-season form here on opening night as we welcome you back inside the nest. Blake Isaacson, Jonathan Rifkin with you. Blake, I teased a fantastic pregame rundown that you had put together, so let's get right to it. There's a ton of new faces on this coaching staff for Del Norte. Torrey Pines has had some turnover as well. Two very different football teams. What can we expect from both these teams?
Well, for the Nighthawks, new head coach, Coach Nick Barnett. I understand you've got an interview with him. I interviewed him during basketball season, and you'll see what everybody else has seen in there too. He's high energy, articulate, smart, and comes with a pedigree that can't be matched. Super Bowl champion.
What else is new at Del Norte?
Well, the offense is going to be high octane once again. The Nighthawks are bringing back a seasoned quarterback, a veteran wide receiver, and a 1,000-yard rusher. The offensive line, though, there's some questions there because so many of the seniors graduated and aren't playing here anymore. So some new cleats will have to be filled by new linemen. But if they can protect Snyder, the Nighthawks are going to score once again.
We're going to keep running through our pregame here as we get ready for all of the action. We're going to get to that interview with Coach Nick Barnett in between the first and second quarter. The Nighthawks in their home blues and whites, gold helmets, will kick it away against Torrey Pines. It's the third ever matchup between these two teams. The first in a decade, Blake, and Torrey Pines won the only two.
Well, Trey Coleman puts on display right now. The Nighthawks aren't missing a step with Mateen Bagani, graduated and playing for Cal this fall. Trey Coleman just hit the crossbar on the kickoff. Another powerful leg for the Nighthawks.
I have the over-under on how many kickoffs he has through the uprights at 5 this season. It'll probably be surpassed next week. Yeah, an interesting storyline here. Trey Coleman, the number 1 kicker in the county, number 5 ranked kicker in the nation, according to 24/7 Sports. He won the Nick Novak kicking camp competition. And everywhere you look in the kicking world, Trey Coleman's name pops up.
And he punts as well, so he does a lot of things for the Nighthawks, and very well.
First varsity snap here of the new season for Lucas 2. It's a sweep out right to Peyton Rogers, and Rogers chugs his way for a short gain on the play. Peyton Rogers, Blake, is the only player on this Torrey Pines roster that has scored a varsity touchdown before.
So a lot of inexperience on this team. They run this wing T offense, which I'll describe as we get a little further into it. But it's basically a running offense with a tight end and an H-back. They usually don't split out two like they are on this play.
And looking to throw here, but the pocket collapses. Two stays on his feet, breaks away, and makes something out of nothing, showing off his legs. A season ago, 2 played in 7 games. Taking over for the previous quarterback, Bear. 2 went 12 for 19 in completions. He had 112 yards, an interception, and no touchdowns in his 7 appearances for Torrey Pines a season ago. A senior in his own right, and a guy who this coaching staff is really high on in terms of leading this style of offense through the rest of the season. 3rd and 4 from the 26. Quick break here out of the huddle. And flags are thrown. That's the problem with a wing tee early in the season. There's a lot of movement, a lot of pieces that have to be in place before that snap. And if you're out of line, these refs will flag you.
Yeah, let me provide a little background on this wing tee offense. So the quarterback's going to line up over the center with a tight end and a slot back just outside the tight end. There's a fullback directly behind the quarterback, and there's a halfback that moves around to create power or balance, either deeper in the backfield or just off the tackle on the weak side, which is the non-tackle side. The reason they do this is to slow down the aggressiveness of defenses, which they can do against a more talented defensive team. It just slows them down with misdirection, and while the defense is looking for the ball, they're slowed down.
So from 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 9, still back in the 20-ish yard area. Little slant up the middle, pass is caught. Very close to the line to gain, and it looks like it was enough, trying to get an eyeball there on the Torrey Pines receiver.
They got a favorable spot on that one.
I still think he got enough. There's forward progress there. So the first down comes on a 3rd and 9 for the Falcons. A Falcons team that a season ago went 4-8. They're out of the Avocado League. They went 2-4, finishing 5th. They still made the D1 playoffs. First round, they beat Rancho Bernardo, a team that Del Norte knows very well, no longer in this league as the run goes up the middle for 2 yards. And then they ended up losing to Cathedral Catholic, who lost to Mater Dei in the championship in the quarterfinal. This was an offense, Blake, a season ago that averaged only 11.5 points per game. Got to think that's in the back of this coaching staff's mind, right? How do we be a little bit more aggressive offensively, I think?
The Nighthawks, by contrast, averaged 29 points a game, but gave up 27.
26 and a half. You're rounding up. You're doing the smart thing. 2nd and 8 after the short run, ball at the 32 here for Torrey Pines. A Torrey Pines team that is, as a school, 4-time San Diego section champions on the football field. I'm going to quiz you, but a little bit later on.
Right.
In the shotgun, it's a quick handoff, run out onto the weak side. This is Jake Sweeney, the senior running back, runs into the middle. A flag is thrown in the backfield, and after a gain of 1 on the play, I do believe this one will come back. Jake Sweeney played all 12 games this season ago. He is the team's leading rushing returner. He went 45 carries for 199 yards, which was about 4.5 yards per carry. 2 touchdowns. Team had 20 total rushing touchdowns this season ago.
Holding on the offense, and the Nighthawks are going to elect to take the penalty, move the sticks back, and repeat 2nd down. A team running the wing T offense doesn't want to have long yardage situations. No team does, but it's particularly difficult because it forces them to pass, and that's not something wing T offenses typically do well.
So ball all the way back at the 22 in Falcons territory, pretty close to where they started this drive at the 21. 2 looking to throw, has plenty of time. Rolling out right, heaving downfield along the sideline, pass is incomplete. Great breakup right there. It was intended for John Pryor.
I think that was Jack Christensen breaking.
And Jack Christensen, the senior free safety. 10 solo tackles, 11 assists. A fumble reception last year and a pass breakup to begin his defensive campaign.
The strength of this team is probably, on the defense, is probably in its secondary. They had a lot of inexperience last year, and all the players that are back starting got a lot of time in last year. So that should be an asset that was a bit of a liability last season.
There is a player down back near the 15-yard line.
Looks like a Nighthawk.
Yeah.
It looked like number 78, perhaps.
That would be Connor Herrick, the defensive end. All right, so...
No, that's Connor. I see Connor on the sideline.
So we'll let them check on that.
Right.
And we're going to have an opportunity here to reconvene in the press box with you if the sun wants to set a little bit here. Let's see if we can tidy this up for you folks. Blake, let them see your beautiful face. Come on over here. All right, perfect. All right, while they tend to the injured Nighthawk, we will let you know who that is and what other information we might get. Not something you ever want to see, especially on the first drive of the new season. But Blake, let's go back to some of our pregame notes here.
Right.
We talked a bit about the Nighthawks. We talked about the new personnel in the offense. What more do you have for us on that?
Well, I would say that the receiving core is going to be more experienced this year. The Nighthawks, as the season wore on, we're having difficulty holding on to the ball. Some of that was due to the sun goes down, we're playing under the lights, and a lot of the newer players that hadn't played at this level weren't accustomed to that. I think we got through that, and the Nighthawks, I think, are going to be very experienced, seasoned, and more composed at the wide receiver level. Ty Olson is all-league honors. He's getting D1 attention, but he's joined this year by Oliver Hines, who's a taller, bigger wide receiver, and then, of course, Ashton Tomlinson and Tyler Becker, who have had very good camps so far this year, and they look to be coming in into their own finally.
All right, so the field has been cleared, and we're back to some football. It's 3rd and 18 from the 22 here on drive number 1 of the season for the Falcons. 2 under pressure. Slant up the middle, goes through the hands of Peyton Rogers, incomplete. Looked to be a catchable pass. Rogers just missed it.
Well, the number 13, Jeremiah Daines, the stud position for the defense, was right around there. I thought he was a little aggressive, and I was concerned he might get a flag call, but he got away with it. 4th down.
So after a first down run and then a couple of flags to get that football back to the 22, Torrey Pines will have to punt.
Deep for the Nighthawks is Ty Olson. He's the returner the Nighthawks wanted to use last year, but he had a twisted ankle and wasn't able to line up there as often as the Nighthawks would have liked to use him there.
Olsen lets it bounce, takes a Del Norte bounce at the 40. 45, I should say, and that's where we will see Jack Schneider and company jog out there for their first drive of the season. Head coach Nick Barnett, in his first season with the program, previously the linebacking coach at La Costa Canyon, grew up in San Bernardino, went to Fontana High School, played at Oregon State. He and I are bitter rivals, me being an Oregon Duck. That was the first thing I said to him when I met him. I said, Coach, you and I aren't allowed to like each other. Now, we are breaking some rules here, and we've since become friends, but from 99 to 02, Coach Barnett turned himself into the third all-time leading tackler in Oregon State football history. And after a couple of stops along the way, including with the Packers where he won a Super Bowl, he has found his way up here into Northern County of San Diego, where he will be calling the offense and the shots for the Nighthawks. Jack Schneider, first-team All-Leaguer a season ago, gives the handoff to Chris Guzman. And a 2.5, maybe 3-yard game for Chris Guzman, a running back who led the team a 1,000-plus yard rusher a season ago, Blake.
Yeah, Christopher is a good back. He's a little undersized, but he moves well, reads holes well, and proved to be much more durable than I was expecting. I ran into his father in a reception before this game and told him that, and he said, yeah, that's one tough dude. There's no question about it.
That's a great way of putting it. When I talked to him during the summer camps, he said, you know, a big part of my increased role this year is to be a leader of the running backs. He actually led the running back practices. Schneider looking to throw, dumps it out across the 50.
Guess who?
Yeah, it's Ty Olsen cutting around the strong side. Into the 25, he's pushed out just shy of the 18 on the coverage, and the push out was Peyton Rogers. But Ty Olsen explodes for a big play here to open up his season.
Well, this is exactly what the Nighthawks want to do. Create a few things for the defense to look at and get the ball to Olsen and let him go.
Talked about the superstar. 12 games a season ago, 1,296 receiving yards, 16 touchdowns for Ty, who is really upholding the legacy of his father, who was a great wide receiver at Colorado State.
In the Hall of Fame there, as a matter of fact.
Under 9 minutes to go in quarter number 1. Schneider in the shotgun. Red zone offense now here for the Nighthawks. A fade into the end zone. Goes to nobody.
Boy, it looked like Olsen got held as he made his break towards the end zone.
He may have, but it's not a catchable pass. That ball was a good 5 or 6 yards past it.
I've watched Ty Olsen, and I wouldn't say anything's not catchable. But
that's fair. But in the eyes of the official, right?
Got it.
You're looking at it from the eyes of an analyst.
Not a zebra.
Right, exactly. Now, feel free to show up next week wearing zebra stripes, and maybe you'll have more say on the matter.
I got enough trouble, thank you.
You're always looking stylish, Blake. Second and 10 rather, from the 18 here. Schneider was 1 for 1 before that. 3-step drop. And passing complete to Ashton Tomlinson, the senior wide receiver. Bounced back nicely from his injury last year. He missed 3 games after getting hurt against Rancho Bernardo. And then he exploded. He had a 3-reception, 122-yard game against San Pasqual. And we found out much later on in the season that the reason that he was struggling is because he couldn't see the ball. And it turned out that he needed contacts. And everybody always says when you drop passes or you fumble, the joke is, oh, what are you, blind? You need glasses? It turned out in his case he actually did.
He got that taken care of, and the difference has been noticeable in his abilities to come down with the ball. Nobody's ever questioned his athleticism and speed. So once he gets that ball in his hands, he's been doing a great job in passing league all summer and then in the scrimmage last week.
5 wide here for Schneider. Screen pass, complete, and not much real estate to work with for Tyler Becker, the senior. And that turns into a 4th down. Trey Coleman time.
Yeah, the Nighthawks lined up with Olsen on the right, trying to draw double coverage and more attention to that side. Flick it to the underside to Tyler Becker, a.k.a. T-Bex. Came down with the pass, but had defenders on him right away. So let's see what Trey Coleman can do here. Big cleats to fill with Mateen Begani gone, but he was their kicker inside the 40-yard line anyway, so this is nothing new for
Eli Gilmore, the holder, the snapper. Jack Christensen, the holder. Trey Coleman gets the season going. He's 1 for 1. Nighthawks lead 3-0 after a 32-yard field goal by Trey Coleman. Offers from BYU, offers from San Diego State. We all know the reputation that San Diego State has with kickers. They're always really good. And Trey Coleman representing the county in that regard.
So I wanted to give you the Toyota Poway keys to the game. Number 1, double D, discipline on defense. Against this wing T offense, the Nighthawk defenders need to stay in their pursuit lanes and not get out of them, lest the ball carrier get loose and cause trouble for that defense. Number 2, protect our quarterback. And number 3, boot it, baby. Assert the advantage of Del Norte's kicking game, which the Nighthawks did just there.
Did you major in poetry, Blake?
Haiku, actually.
That's a form of poetry, so yes is the answer. Trey Coleman, last time we saw him out here kicking it off to open up the game, he hit the post. And I assume he's probably going to be in that ballpark again. Also a soccer player, by the way, 7 games last year. He totaled 17 points for the team, including 3 goals. And into the setting sun it goes. Wow. And yeah, if you're Peyton Rogers, just let it drop.
Well, the advantage of that for the Nighthawks is that the return team doesn't get an opportunity to score or to improve its field position. It gets the ball on the 20-yard line, and over the course of a season, it deprives opponents of scoring opportunities.
It also allows you in practice to set up your defense. You know that you're likely setting up your defense from the 20-yard line almost every time that he kicks off the ball, I should say, which sort of settles you as a coach. You can get into a routine. What do we want to see? If you're Paul Schneider, you know that once that ball goes off the boot, your defense comes out and defends on the 20, and a false start immediately on the offense. That's already the 3rd flag on Torrey Pines. Now, typically first game, Blake, we see
some jitters, sure.
Some flag. I think last year against Escondido, where Del Norte dominated, we still saw something like 15 flags in that game.
Yeah, the Nighthawks seem to be pretty composed at this point. Let's see if it continues.
Reminder, in between quarters, we will have a special interview with head coach Nick Barnett in his first ever game as the head coach of a high school football team. Boy, was he excited.
I got to spend some time with him yesterday. Boy, I'll tell you, every time I have an opportunity to spend with him or just about anybody, everybody's impressed. Heck of a guy.
Of course, one of the bigger names, Legadu Namey, the wide receivers coach, joining the staff as this ball is carried out by Lucas 2. Got maybe a yard out of it. That was a very long 1 yard to go for the quarterback.
Yeah, Jeremiah Daines came from the backside.
Excuse me, he lost yardage on the play. Oh, no, he didn't. There was a flag. It's also the first game for the broadcasting crew. Ball's back to the original line of scrimmage at 2nd and 10.
We'll round into mid-season form here in good time.
Give me until halftime.
So Jeremiah Daines, nice pursuit. He was trying to catch up to the quarterback too. Didn't quite get there, but put the pressure on. Nice to see by the Nighthawks. So that means there's good coverage in the secondary. Again, the Nighthawks experience in that part of the game.
Shotgun for 2. Looking to pass. Quick flick over to Braden Daly, who makes the catch. That's the first completion here for Torrey Pines. Moves it up to the 25, so a 3rd and 5 coming for the Falcons.
I like that. Garrett Hurdy and Jake Warren, I think it was, just made a Torrey Pines sandwich between them.
But if you're Torrey Pines, small gains can reap big rewards when you're struggling to get the ball downfield in significant fashion, which is really not been their NO since, I don't know, maybe 4 seasons ago with Rod Gladnick, who's now at St. Augustine. So, a 3rd and 5 is much better than a 3rd and 10 or worse. We'll see what Lucas 2 and company have in store. Here he is. Outright low throw. Pass looked like it was bobbled. I don't think it was complete. Nonetheless, maybe a yard out of it. They're going to call it a catch. And on the receiving end of that was Zach Barger. Barger's first varsity reception. Goes for about 3 yards on the play.
You can see the Falcons are just not as comfortable in the passing game as they are in the running game.
And back out to punt is Ryan Babcock, the senior punter. Ty Olson back at the 45. Check that, the 35. takes it from the 42. Deflects, dodges, twirls, and falls at the 40, now the 42-yard line. Maybe with the 43. We talked about his accolades. He had 4 touchdowns 2 different times last season. He had 3 touchdowns 2 other times last season, and he had an 11 reception game against Rancho Bernardo.
Yeah, Ty Olson is the real deal. There's no question about it.
He did have a season-low 1 reception for 43 yards up at Thousand Oaks. It was a very stout Lancer team. 1st and 10 from the 43, halfway through quarter number 1 on the opening night of the new season. Schneider's in the shotgun, Guzman to his left. Pocket breaks. Schneider doesn't care as he dives across the first down marker. He's down at the 46. That was one of the things that when he and I talked last week, he said he was excited about. Not only was it his ability, the improvements he's made over the summer to get rid of the football faster, but it was to use his legs more effectively.
Jack Schneider you're talking about, yeah. Schneider has always had good sense about when to use his legs to extend plays, when to use his legs to run, or when to stay in the pocket and find a receiver. That's an intangible that he's got, but it's gotten better over time.
And none more indicative than that postseason game last year against San Pasqual when he rushed for 2 touchdowns.
He's a good athlete.
Here's Chris Guzman on the handoff. Bouncing out to the left. Flag is thrown out towards the 40. Guzman gets 2, maybe 3 out of it. Yeah, you think it's coming. Well, it's thrown on the defensive side.
I saw official indicate a holding, but I didn't see which side.
You're the expert, Blake.
Looks like it's going against Del Norte.
Yeah, you caught that. Only home game for the Nighthawks through the first 4 weeks of the season. At La Costa Canyon, at Eastlake, and then they host a school called Liberty. That plays up in the Inland Empire.
Yeah, I tried looking it up because I did an analysis I'll get to a little bit later about the difficulty with the Nighthawks schedule coming up, and I couldn't find what division that school's in.
They're in the southern section. I think they're in like Division 7 or 8.
It's number 8, but I don't know what that means. There we go.
That's a little RPO option here near side. Oliver Hines getting in on the action. His first reception as a varsity Nighthawk, and that was good for about 9 on the play.
Hines last season had a collarbone injury that he re-injured and basically didn't see any time at all. He's a bigger target, the tallest Nighthawk wideout, and has good speed as well. It was costly to not have him last year because they really like his hands and ability to get open.
Sort of a tight end hybrid with the weight, with that size.
Right.
2nd and 8. There's Hines in motion. Schneider, quick flick up the middle. Tomlinson couldn't get a handle on it. I'm not sure if Tomlinson was ahead of it or the pass was behind him.
Some combination of the two from this angle. It was possible to come down with it, but it was not normally where Jack puts the ball, which is right on the money.
Mentioned the 3 receptions for 122 yards a season ago for Ashton. That actually accumulated half of his total stat line for the season. He was 6 for 166. But he's definitely grown a little bit. He hasn't been skipping leg day, so the explosivity is there, or explosiveness, if you will. Here's 3rd and 8. On the turn, catch is made and out of bounds. Scurries Tyler Becker. That's his 2nd reception of the evening. Was it enough? He's about a yard shy of the first down marker.
Decision time.
And the offense wants to go for it. I just saw the hands go up for Scary Terry Howe out there on the offensive line. He said, let's go for it, coach, and there they are going for it.
One of the things that gives the offense the incentive to do this, or the option to do this, is the defense has been so strong. Coach Barnett obviously feels they can hold him even if they don't convert here.
3-0 remains our score. Guzman will take it. Shakes off the first tackler. Definitely got the first down as he crosses the 35. Stays on his feet. Whistles have not been blown yet. And the pile is pushed across the 25. Are you kidding me, Christopher Guzman?
I love that little Nighthawk. He keeps those wings flapping all the way till he hears a whistle.
And Torrey Pines, I think, was expecting to hear the whistle in the initial scrum. It never came, and Just as you said, those wings kept on flapping. A 10-yard run for Chris Guzman turns a 4th and 1 into a 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
Nice call, Coach Barnett. And great run, Christopher Guzman.
And that's the thing about having a defensive guy calling your offense is that sometimes they like to call plays in the trenches. 4 spread them even on both sides of Schneider. In motion is Ryan Romigio, and he gets the pass, and he's taken down about 5 yards shy of that first down marker at the 20.
He had a real nice passing league this summer and did well in the scrimmage as well. The Nighthawks have a secret weapon coming up, which I'm number 25, a freshman who runs low to the ground.
Anthony Matar.
Yeah.
And when I talked to the running backs coach for Del Norte a couple of weeks ago, he said, that's what I'm most excited for. Chris is great, but we have this freshman who is competing to be the second string running back, and every time he touches the ball, you never know what might happen.
Well, you just saw how tough Christopher Guzman ran that one play. That's because that other young man is pushing him.
Right. And that's what you want. You want guys competing for positions. 2nd and 8.
Ball on the ground.
Oh, ball on the ground, picked up and immediately taken down. That'll be a loss of 3 on the play there. Good heads up by Schneider after missing it to just hit the deck. Guzman will jog back in there for Connor Miller, who was in the backfield. Oh, excuse me, that was Ryan Remigio.
Boy, that could have been a costly mistake, and the Nighthawks got lucky that the turnover didn't occur. Schneider was heads up to jump on that ball, not try and pick it up and do something with it. Just end that play and let's get on with it.
3rd and 10. 2 minutes of counting here in quarter number 1. Sun begins to set, and a beautiful Friday evening will greet us here in the nest.
Uh-oh.
And there may have been a twitch out there on the left side of the line. I think you saw what I saw. It looked like Terry may have moved a little bit, eliciting the defense to jump, and indeed it will be a false start.
Terry Howe, number 75. He's the captain of that offensive line. He's a returning letterman. He's got a robust personality, one of my favorite Nighthawks, but he made a boo-boo there.
Another flag on this drive for Del Norte. Clock ticks under 1:30.
Nighthawks could think about a shorter pass and stay in field goal range.
3rd and 17. And that's exactly what Jack is thinking, but instead he finds some real estate. Stays on his feet through 1. Second tackle is right near the line to gain. Boy, that is very close to a 17-yard reverse run for Jack Schneider. The question is,
they're signaling 4th down, or
it's going to be, we might get the chain gang out here for the first time this season. No, they're moving the sticks, Blake.
Good. Schneider pointed as though he had a first down, but it looked like he was rooting for it because the official on this side did not showed 4th down, but they gave it to him.
Yeah, heads up play right there by the quarterback. It was a designed run. It was designed, though, to do exactly what you alluded to, which is set the ball in the middle of the field and line up Trey Coleman for a field goal. Instead, fortune favors the Brave. 1st and 10 from the 14. Hand off to Guzman. Through the A-gap, he goes down just shy of the 10. 4-yard run for Chris, and maybe one more play here before the first quarter comes to an end.
Well, the Nighthawk offensive line is doing what we wanted to see, which is blocking for Guzman and protecting Schneider. For the most part, so far, so good.
Second and 5, right on the 10. Nighthawks searching for their first touchdown of the new season on drive number 2. In motion goes Guzman on the reception, and a great job on the initial hit by Brett Berry before the takedown by Ryder Young.
Well, Tyler Becker was out there blocking for Guzman, which is good to see, but he came up on his back. Here we got a replay. Watch number 11 there. You're not supposed to block from
That could be an illegal block in the back. Yep, good eyes.
Either that or he held off, and fortunately.
So that will do it for quarter number 1. Del Norte leads 3-0. We're going to step aside, but earlier this evening I had the pleasure of catching up with head coach Nick Barnett. He had some great words to say.
Our Coach's Corner here as our pregame coverage
continues. Jonathan Rifkin with head coach Nick Barnett. Coach, appreciate you taking the time. First year with the program. How has it been for you over the last 2 months acclimating yourself to the campus and these players?
You know, I was here before the summer, but, you know, it seems like it was just yesterday when they hired me, right? But now we're here. Let's have this opportunity to be in the field and in life, right? Man, these boys are ready to play. They've been grinding. It wasn't hard because these kids bought in immediately. That's kind of what I expressed to them, man. I appreciate you guys buying into the program, buying into what coaches are telling you guys, doing what you're supposed to do. Now it's time to go out here and do what we're supposed to do.
All right, so tell me about these boys, right? These young men that you're helping create some sort of impact on campus, both on and off, I guess. What have you seen from them as you've helped develop this?
Big thing is watching them to each other. As well as the coach said, rules and discipline things in place, and you expect them to lead each other to be able to follow and stuff, right? No, that's the making of leaders. That's the making of our next generation that are leaders and not followers, and that are going to carry our generations on and do it the right way, being good humans, right? So that's what it's all about, being out here, being on this field. Yes, it's about hitting people and about playing football, but mostly it's about that, creating leaders that lead their families, lead their young men, lead their young daughters, and all that. So.
What have you learned about yourself in this experience, right? This is a brand new opportunity for you, a place you've never really been before. What have you learned about yourself, and what are the feelings that you feel right now, moments away from kickoff?
You know, I learned that I love to coach just as much as I love to play the game, right? You know, the head coaching was not necessarily a thing that was in my, you know, in my path, you know, let's say, but
all right, that interview is available on all social media here at Del Norte as we bring you back. Welcome to the second quarter where Ty Olson is in the 2023 campaign, drive number 2, and it's none other than the star wide receiver.
Ty Olson for my 2 favorite words put together. Touchdown, Nighthawks! Here's the replay, slant to the right. Olson, quick fake to the outside, cuts it inside. Schneider puts the ball right on the money.
Trey Coleman back out here for the PAT. You know, Blake, if I had known that that's how we were going to come out of the interview, I would have asked Coach Barnett how he would have celebrated once Ty Olson gets into the end zone. It would have been seamless. Nonetheless, Nighthawks take a 10-0 lead. Ty Olson had 16 of those a season ago. He has one here. Not even 13 minutes into the action.
There was an article by the Union Tribune which listed the top 25, the top 100 players in the county and gave special attention to the top 25. Ty Olson was one of the top 25, and the Nighthawks had 4 others on that list of 100.
Ty Olson, Trey Coleman, Jack Schneider,
Guzman,
and Christopher Guzman.
And Khaled Farah, I believe.
Oh, so they had 5.
Yeah, 5 total. I'm sorry, yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that doesn't know numbers.
That's why I keep this abacus here.
All right, here comes Trey Coleman once again.
Yeah, Adrian. Wow.
Into the setting sun. And this one is a touchback. It's funny because in high school, if you receive that kickoff in the end zone, it's an automatic touchback. But Oscar Peterson back there, he was ready to run. He's like, this is the juiciest one we might get all game. A bit of a headwind going that way.
And he was ready to run with it, too, with good reason.
All right, so Torrey Pines coming back out here. A couple of first downs so far in their 2 opening drives, but ultimately 2 punts in their own territory. And we'll see what Lucas 2 has in store for drive number 3. It's a keeper here. And I believe that's Dawson Washington. So Dawson Washington comes in a wildcat, keeps the football, and chugs his way for a first down.
Yeah, that other stuff they were doing wasn't working, so try something else.
How about a wildcat in the 3rd drive of the new season? I don't think we saw one of those. Maybe Rancho Bernardo actually had one, but you don't see that too often
Be interesting to see if they stick with it. They had some more success there than they've had doing just about anything else. It looks like he's staying in and calling the plays.
Yep, they're going to go with the senior running back Dawson Washington taking the snaps. Here he is in the keeper once again, up the middle. Oh, there's some space across the 50. Washington through the 35. A trio of Nighthawks converge, and he's taken down at the 30.
Well, the speed of number 7, Caden Barnett, cut that one off and forced the ball carrier to reverse field and run into a fellow Nighthawk.
43 yards though, Blake.
Yeah, a little bit far upfield. That's Coach Barnett's son, junior Caden Barnett.
Biggest play of the evening for Torrey Pines.
Well, they got a spark now. The Nighthawks weren't preparing for this offense. They were preparing for the more traditional wing T. Good in-game adjustment by the coaching staff, Torrey Pines. Let's see if the Nighthawks can respond.
Dawson Washington back under center. And whistles are blown. I believe we're going to have a timeout. Yeah, and Torrey Pines wants to chat. While we have this opportunity, Blake, I believe that we have some people to thank.
Want to thank our platinum sponsors, including State Farm Insurance and Like a Good Neighbor. State Farm is there. Our local State Farm agent, Ron Wang. Contact Ron for your home, life, and car insurance needs. And Apollo Jets, the premier private jet and charter aircraft company dedicated to providing you with exceptional customer service care and worldwide access.
Stick with us, by the way. At halftime, we're going to be interviewing Brendan from Oakley, a new sponsor here at Del Norte.
They are New Oakley. They hosted an event for us over at UTC Mall. A lot of fun for a lot of people that went there. Also want to thank Laundry, San Diego's premier Greenville dry cleaners, dedicated to working around your busy schedule. The most reliable laundry pickup and drop-off service in America's finest city. And Seapoint Wealth Advisors. As your wealth advisors, Seapoint is here to counsel you, listen to your concerns, and guide you on the right path during the course of a long-lasting relationship. And F45 4S Ranch, team training, life-changing.
All right, back out of the timeout. Torrey Pines 1st and 10 from the 29. That was set up by a 43-yard run from the Wildcat by Dawson Washington. This is a handoff from Washington, sweeping left is Oscar Peterson, but he'll be dropped for a loss of 3 on the play. Peterson getting his first carry of the season. He played JV last year. He is a junior for the Falcons.
Garrett Hurdy blew into the backfield and was not to be denied. He pinned his ears back, went right after that ball carrier and made an outstanding play.
Torrey Pines coaching staff, Robbie Collins in his 2nd season, currently on medical leave. We wish him the best. Josh Mihalinik is the assistant head coach, and current acting head coach is Scott Ashby, also the defensive coordinator, a 5-year head coach at Torrey Pines back in the mid-2000s. Anthony Van Langen is the wide receiver coach.
Out comes Esteban Lamone, one of the top players for the Nighthawks.
2 back out there. And pocket collapses and he's taken down. A big sack on the play for Logan Medina.
Yeah, baby, how about them Nighthawks? Boy, they all pinned their ears back and went after that quarterback. Torrey Pines doesn't look like they're going to be able to throw against the Nighthawks, and that's a heck of a play by that whole defensive line.
Yeah, you see right here, just right up the middle.
What a surge.
3rd and 23.
That's the kind of play that gets the opposing quarterback to think twice and they call a passing play. Oh my God, what's going to happen here? He's looking to protect himself rather than find receivers.
That's why Dawson Washington is back out there on 3rd and 23. He did rip a 43-yard run earlier, fakes the pass, keeps it up the middle. He goes, and Del Norte was ready. A pair of Nighthawks taking him down at the 40.
And that's what you do with an opposing quarterback that likes to run. You meet him in the hole and hit him head on and let him know he's going to pay a price if he comes and tries that again. Nice adjustments by the Nighthawks.
4th and 21 for Torrey Pines, and maybe an opportunity here for Ryan Babcock to try and get this one inside the 5. Ty Olson back near the end zone. A bit of topspin on this one. Olsen lets it drop, and it will trickle into the end zone. Nighthawks will get the touchback.
I want to thank a few more of our platinum sponsors, including North San Diego Legacy Oral and Facial Surgery Practice, also known as SCO FSC, dedicated experts focused on dental implants, wisdom teeth removal, and other oral surgery solutions. And Joshua's Pest Control. Joshua's gets rid of pests so you feel at home in your home. Oakley Sunglasses, I'll let you do that one, Jonathan. And Chick-fil-A. Eat in, dine out, or drive through right here in Del Sur.
1st and 10 for Jack Schneider. They scored on their previous drive. It was touchdown by Ty Olsen. This is a handoff to a sweeping Jake Warren. Nowhere to go, though, as he gets dropped for a loss on the play.
I think that was Guzman, actually. But Schneider, we got to fake that one and pull it back and let her rip upfield. That whole Torrey Pines defense was pursuing Guzman, and there wasn't anybody staying home. Loss of about 1 there, so bringing up 2nd and 10. 11.
Schneider and Guzman lining up side by side. 4 split them out even. Ooh, pocket collapse for a second. Schneider was able to find the awaiting arm. That looks to be Jake Greger. Nope, 17, excuse me. That's Oliver Hines, his second. And that's where Hines really comes in, right? Because he's such a big body.
Yeah.
Even if the coverage is there, he just boxes out whoever's trying to stop him, and he has that catching radius where he can reel it in.
And he runs good routes and has sure hands. It's a receiver that Schneider's comfortable with, and they want to get him the ball.
3rd and 2. Guzman splits out to the right. So 5 wide here for Schneider. I wonder if he keeps. Looking to throw, unleashes. Ty Olsen catches, stays on his feet, bounces off a tackler, and he's finally taken down at the 46 by Brett Berry.
Well, there you see that Ty Olsen gets open. 3rd down, critical play. Schneider looks right, comes back to the left side. An acrobatic catch and turn, spinning upfield, getting more yards. They've got to put 2 people on Ty Olsen. Nobody's going to be able to cover him in single coverage.
You know, I have dreams about how many times you've said that phrase a season ago, and here we are already, Blake. We're not even half in.
I'm giving free advice. Maybe I'll zip it and let the other coaches figure it out on their own.
Team should hire you as a defensive advisor. 1st and 10 from the 46. Here's a flip to the near side. Hines on the receiving end again. And that's what that big body will do as he's finally taken out. And immediately some tempers flare. On the takedown was Joey Levenberg.
I like Coach Schneider in there, the defensive coordinator, who also happens to be the quarterback's father, calling for a flag because that was a hit out of bounds, and he's seen it called on his defensive players. He wanted a flag there.
No flag is thrown. It's a 9-yard reception for Hines, and he's trying to contend Ty Olsen for the team's leader in receptions in game number 1. Vibes up at the Nest are immaculate. Students back in school, and they have some energy from the summer. They're hoping to get out here on
Ball's loose.
a Friday night. Yeah, Guzman carried that for 3 yards. He got enough for the first down. They're going to say that he went down before that ball came out.
Good.
So old, reliable Christopher Guzman gets the first down. Tackle was made by Karel Novi.
I want to give some credit to Jack Schneider on that fake. I couldn't see where the ball was, and I'm sure the defenders had a hard time too, and that helped spring Guzman for that gain.
Ball in Nighthawk territory at the 43.
Ruglio in for Guzman. Schneider
keeps, finds some space, and tiptoes the sideline.
Looks like that might have been a broken play. I'm not sure if Schneider and Ruglio were on the same page.
Yeah, you normally don't draw up a run for your quarterback when you're on a hash to the weak side, not a lot of room to run right there.
That's kind of a telling sign.
But this is what Jack does, right? He manufactures plays. He finds ways to be productive. And instead of being hit on the play for a loss, instead of handing it off in a situation where he wasn't sure if his running back was going to be productive, he takes it for 5 yards himself. They're actually going to give him 4. 2nd and 6. Trickling towards the back end of this first half. 10-0 Del Norte leads. Man in motion, and Remiglio on the reception, cuts up field. He's taken down past the 35 to the 34.
That's one play I don't like to see. It's a swing pass to a back where the back is not ahead of the quarterback. And as a result, if the ball is not caught, it's technically a fumble. It's a live ball, easy to be picked up by the defense and turned into a game-saving, changing play.
So you think it's just too risky because if that ball is fumbled?
It's got to be taught where that running back is ahead of the quarterback if you're going to run that play.
3rd and 1. Another handoff up the middle. Ooh, this will be close. Remiglio gets it again.
I think he got a good spot, Jonathan.
And they're really riding Remiglio right now. It's going to be close, and they call it a first down. So Nighthawks picking up first down in small gains, which there's no reason for big plays right now. Controlling the clock, controlling the pace, the momentum, the tempo in your favor at home on opening night. Ooh, this is a heavy set for the offense, Blake.
Yeah, I see Esteban Limon in there, Terry Howe. They got the big fellas in there.
Schneider barking out orders. Looking to throw.
I think he changed the
play.
play.
Olsen deep into the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Nighthawks. 42 yards. A deuce for Ty Olsen in the first half.
Jack Schneider and Ty Olsen detonate the first bomb of the 2023 season to the delight of the Nighthawk fans. I think Schneider changed that play. It looked like they were in a heavy set going for a run. He saw what he wanted, single coverage on Olsen, and he let her rip after audibling into it.
Fireworks in the first half of this game. Trey Coleman with some icing on the cake, and now a scrum ensues, at least for a moment. Dawson Washington out there on the defensive side didn't like the way that Terry Howe ran up into the offensive line, or the defensive line rather, but nonetheless it's 17-0 here. And
yeah, Terry can get under your skin in a good way. He's got a big personality. And
let's go back to this play, Blake. I mean, it's interesting because there's double coverage on that right side, and it just doesn't matter.
Well, not when you throw it there. Wow, what a perfect pass and catch. It looks like an audible. We'll have to check Jack Schneider on that one to see if that's what happened. But the Nighthawks came in with almost their jumbo set, which is what you do with 3rd and 1. You need to just push the ball a little bit. The defense gets stout, pushes it up into the middle, up into the box, and they go over the top.
Shout out to Daniel Storajuk, our executive producer, balling out with our technicals here on the broadcast. Trey Coleman into the setting sun, back of the end zone. Still a headwind going that way, so not going to get it through the uprights with that.
It's still a heck of a kick.
I know, but now that I've set the expectation that ball will go through the uprights at some point. I'd like for that to happen.
You know, in the NFL, they kick off from the 35-yard line, right? So that's 5 yards longer. But if you're kicking regularly into the back of the end zone, that means even if you were an NFL kicker, you were kicking it into the end zone. So these guys, this last 2 years, Trey Coleman and Mateen Begani, have been showing NFL-strength legs.
Well, by the way, Trey Coleman has an invite and will be playing in the Polynesian Bowl this year. The Polynesian Bowl are all the seniors from around the nation who are the best in their position. Trey Coleman has been invited and has accepted. More on that here in a moment. Back on offense come the Falcons, and they've been showing a couple of different faces. That was Ryder Young getting his first carry.
This is a big drive for the Nighthawks. If they shut him down and pitch a zero for Torrey Pines in the first half, boy, that's a big momentum builder.
They held Escondido scoreless last year in the opener. And 2 hands it off. Goes for a gain of 3 on the play.
Alternatively, if Torrey Pines is able to march the distance and score a touchdown, they're just down a couple of scores and they're back in this game. So this is an important drive for the Nighthawk defense.
That was Ryder Young, by the way, on the carry, his second consecutive 2nd and 7. And remember last year, Del Norte was pretty much shutting out Rancho Bernardo at halftime, and the Broncos came bucking back, ended up winning that game. So nothing is ever said and done. 2 looking downfield. And, oh, that ball was caught! What a catch for Oscar Peterson downfield. That ball was bobbled, secured. And Torrey Pines has been lacking consistent, productive plays, but they have had 2 plays now over 40 yards so far here in the first half.
That ball was on the money, bobbled a little bit. Jack Christensen was right there, but he wasn't able to disrupt the ultimate reception.
Yeah, Oscar Peterson takes that one all the way into the Nighthawk, what is that, the 28-yard line. Not 22, excuse me. 2 looks out right, oh, wide open again. Pass completed to Oscar Peterson. And again, some more antics happening. You couldn't see it on camera, but off camera, a bit of a kerfuffle, if you will, in the backfield.
I think that's Esteban Limon, who left the season with an ACL tear last year. He's back. Coaches say he's at full speed.
Yeah, it was Kai Caulfield and Esteban Limon back there in the backfield.
Esteban's little brother's playing on the varsity again this year. And he moved up at the end of last year, as I recall. Very athletic, very good football intelligence, quick, smaller than Esteban. They're both wrestlers, so they're tough and physical. The Nighthawks haven't quite found a place where they think he's going to be at home yet, but it's going to happen.
2nd and 4 here for the Falcons. 2 keeps out to the right, finds a gap, good run. Right on the edge of the line to gain. I think they're going to spot it a tad short. 2:20 and counting here in the first half. Torrey Pines searching desperately to get on the board here for the first time in the new season. It's going to be about a yard short, so 3rd and 1 here on the run by Lucas 2.
My guess is this is 2-down territory. If you can't get a first down and punch this into the end zone, this night just gets longer and longer for Torrey Pines.
And a good heads-up play there from 2 as well. He saw the gap on his right and immediately sprinted towards it. Here he is on the keeper, rolling out left. Not a ton of options, so try and take it himself. Definitely got the first down out across the 10, taken down at the 6. So a 7-yard run for Lucas 2. Moving the sticks, and finally within 10 yards of the end zone are the Falcons.
I was looking at Jack Christensen out there on single covered against that wide receiver. He had him well covered. He was pretty physical with him, but no harm, no foul. But he prevented a ball from being thrown into the end zone.
1st and goal from the 6. Torrey Pines mustered 20 total touchdowns a season ago, only 3 through the air. They only return 1 player who has scored a varsity touchdown. That's the wide receiver Peyton Rogers, sporting number 22. This is a handoff up through the middle, and a gain of maybe 3 on the play, potentially 4. And on the handoff, that was Jake Sweeney, his 2nd carry.
Didn't look to me like the Torrey Pines offense was set for a count, which is required, but they got away with it. The Nighthawk fans are on their feet trying to encourage their defense to stop this drive.
Under 40 seconds to go now for the Falcons.
So the Falcon, given the explosiveness of the Nighthawk offense, they want to end this series without any time on it so that the Nighthawks don't have another opportunity to score.
Oscar Peterson set up the Falcons. They're trying to reward his efforts. Here's a sweeping into the end zone for a touchdown. Ryder Young getting his first varsity touchdown of his high school career, and the Torrey Pine Falcons are on the board at 17-6 pending the PAT.
Well, the Nighthawks gave up a big drive there. The big pass play that was bobbled and came down with it, the Torrey Pines receiver. But we got a ball game, Jonathan.
Babcock ready to push this one through. It's a line drive, but it does the trick. 17-7, 23 seconds to go here in half number 1. I'm intrigued to see what the approach is here for the offense. Do you attempt anything, or do you kneel it out and regroup at halftime?
Well, it'll all depend on the return and the field position. If you can get it out towards the 40-yard line, towards your own 40-yard line, towards midfield, you might take a shot downfield, hope for a pass interference call, give you 15 yards. Another play to the out of bounds, you can kick a long field goal. If you don't get it up that far, probably going to sit on it and come back and fight after the half.
Ashton Tomlinson, Ty Olson, the duo back to receive. And the senior kicker, Ryan Babcock, will boot it away. Torrey Pines scores on their 4th drive here of the ball game. And shifting the momentum a little bit away from the Nighthawks. Still some ground to make up here for the Falcons. Here comes Babcock. Olsen's going to take it inside the 10. Out wide, good route towards the 20. He runs out at the 22.
Yeah, I think from this spot on the field, Jonathan, I'd be surprised that the Nighthawks did anything but go on a knee and end the half satisfied with a 10-point lead.
You're crushing my dreams here, Blake.
Just a little too far to go to put the ball at risk.
The logic definitely holds up. There is some conversation being had, though, in the huddle. This is a long huddle for a kneel.
They're huddling on the sideline before they go out to play.
And maybe that's what it is. Maybe the conversation is we're going to kneel, make sure nobody does anything to elicit a flag, don't fumble the handoff, all the little things, the minutia in this play that could go wrong. Schneider's there, though. He's in a shotgun.
This is not a kneeling.
No, they're going for it. By going for it, I mean it's a handoff to Christopher Guzman. Defense playing prevent D will get him after a good gain on the play, though. Got about 15 yards off of it. Clock stops at 10. That ball will be spot, and that should be the half.
They called a timeout, I think. Yeah. So I think here's where the Nighthawk kicking game comes into play. Because they got that long leg of Trey Coleman, the Nighthawks don't need to get all the way down to the 20 or 30-yard line. They might be able to kick one, I'd say from about the 35-yard line. They could try a 52-yard field goal if they could get it that far. So they need 10, 25 yards on this next play to have a credible shot at a long kick.
Nighthawks have never beaten Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines was in the Palomar League when Del Norte was incepted, actually. In 2012, the first season of Del Norte football, Torrey Pines was in this conference, as well as 2013. Torrey Pines won both of those matchups. The teams have not met since, almost a decade up until this point. And Del Norte up 17-7. They've never scored more than 7 points against Torrey Pines, and there is movement. The question is, as everybody's pointing at each other,
that should be on Torrey Pines. They came in.
But was there something on the offensive line that elicited that movement?
I didn't see it. I was looking right there. It looked to me like the defender came in attack mode and the offensive player pulled back. They're not allowed to do that on defense, I don't believe.
We can check it out here.
On offense.
Yeah, it looked like there was actually a bit.
Okay.
There's a. I do believe that was elicited. Yep, there it is.
Well, if that's the case, and it's a good play by the Torrey Pines defender to jump right on it and make it. I'm kind of thinking Nighthawks maybe need to just sit on this one.
I think at this point that's your sign. So 1st and 15 from the 37. Trio out to the strong side of Schneider. Why not? Unloads this one. Olsen on the other end of it. Cuts upfield to the 49, so a gain of 12 on the play. Clock stops at 2.7, and guess who called a timeout? Coach Barnett is showing a a different type of mentality here at Del Norte than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. You got to score a touchdown here. There's not enough time to complete a pass and kick a field goal.
But you know what I think it is, Blake? I think it's a precedent. I don't think the idea here is we're going to go and we're going to score. It's that we're always going to play until that final clock runs out. And the idea, like if you kneel, you're basically accepting the half is over. He wants to keep his team loose. He wants to keep his team driven and the momentum on their side. And productive plays helps with that.
Foot on the accelerator at all times.
He's calling this offense the way I drive my car. Sometimes. If I'm late for a broadcast. 2 seconds to go. Should be the final play. Jack having a quick word with new wide receiver coach Legadou Naney. Played a couple of years in the NFL. Portland native. Went to Boise State. Originally as a quarterback, got moved to wide receiver.
I didn't know that. Played for the Chargers, had some productive seasons.
Indeed he did. Schneider gets sacked for the first time tonight. Coming in for the sack was Cade Wilkin, the senior defensive lineman, getting his first sack of the season, and that's how the half will conclude. 17-7. Del Norte leads Torrey Pines to the first 24. We'll step aside. Blake's can update you on all the first half action, and then an interview with our fantastic new sponsors from Oakley. You're watching Nighthawk Football on Nest TV.
Fans, please direct your attention to the track. And good Nighthawk Football family, welcome to your Del Norte Nighthawks Tech Squad.
All right, back here at Del Norte, halftime in the season opener for the Nighthawks, up 17-7 over Torrey Pines. We have a great halftime show coming for you. I will be interviewing Brendan from Oakley, a new sponsor here. But first, Blake, you have some tributes to pay.
I do, Jonathan. The season ends with us in the playoffs where we're not able to broadcast, and it didn't give us a final opportunity to thank so many great football players for their contributions to the program. And so I wanted to do that here. I spoke at the postseason banquet and told that team last year that they were one of the GOATs, the greatest of all time teams for Del Norte. 7 wins, a playoff bye, a playoff win at home, a quarterfinals berth in the D3 playoffs, and a promotion to D1. So I wanted to mention some of the indelible moments and memories that occurred to me as I look back on that great season. Brady Ross's 41-yard catch and run just before the halftime for our only TD in that big win against Mount Carmel. Ryan Goldstein's big TD snag against Rancho Bernardo to give us the lead in the seesaw game against our crosstown rivals. There was Carter Jones's loping up the field to get open before making many of the big catches that he did, hauled in, including 3 touchdowns in one game. Nick Wells' blanket coverage of opposing receivers all season long. Austin Stewart's bruising hits and 7 tackles in that playoff game against San Pascal. and Nick Condi's toughness at all times and under all circumstances, including 9 tackles in that game as well, 6 solo ones. Ryan Pervez's critical downfield blocking, Seth Connor's tough catches in traffic and tackles on defense, Mason Gazicki's leadership at middle linebacker, anchoring the defense, particularly against Mount Carmel, and that law firm of Fonseca, Ginsburg, O'Connor, Rashid, and Wang that paved paths like it was the Monraz Company for Christopher Guzman's 1,000-yard rushing season and protecting Jack Schneider to league honors. And then there was Mateen Bagani, the talented place kicker and long kicker for whom Bagani's bangers were named, as his kickoffs into the end zone all but twice all year deprived opponents from valuable return opportunities, and of course his 53-yard field goal, a Del Norte record. There were a few other seniors whom coaches asked me to mention, including the kids who make teams better and ready for the game on Friday night. You can't win without the guys who work hard during the week. Those seniors included Ayan Bakhtar, Manoa Sanf, and Adam Abdello, who hung in there and made the most of his opportunities. He scored a touchdown for the varsity Nighthawk football team, a thrill I'm sure he'll take with him for the rest of his life. And those are some of my favorite memories from the season and the parting ones of our seniors. Want to thank them for the memories, and also Coach Cole and the rest of the coaching staff, who from the time I got involved with this program was D4. This team has risen to D4 in no small way thanks to their accomplishments. Good luck, Nighthawks, and when you get the opportunities, come by and stop by the broadcast booth, and remember, once a Nighthawk, always a Nighthawk.
Beautiful tribute, Blake, and I'm excited to see what impact this current team makes, so when you give your tribute next year, that poetic choice of words will reign true for this current class as well. We're going to step aside, enjoy the halftime show. When we return, I'll be with Brendan from Oakley. We're going to talk a little bit about what Oakley is doing here at Del Norte and maybe try to make me look a little bit more stylish. That and more on the other side. You're watching Del Norte football on STV.
They'll punt the ball, and then their final, they'll try to make a field goal for the last leg of the contest.
We picked athletic kids so that they go faster. Come on, buddy, what's up?
For the best play kick contest, brought to you by Oakley. Let's give it up for Gray, Liam, and Lauren, everybody. How about a big round of applause for our contestants tonight?
We have less out here than we did before. There's no soundboard. Well, the soundboard is in that black thing back there. So there's less fiddling around here. It always seems to be like
All right, each contestant now will try to kick the ball through the uprights. And Lauren's going to go first.
let's start setting up. We will by the time we don't have any clocks yet.
The kick for the 20-yard line by Lauren is no good. Good try, Lauren. contestant for the Oakley pass, punt, and kick contest. The kick is up and good. So we have a tie. So now in the event of the tie, Graham Williams
5 penalty kicks.
will now run the 40-yard dash
Watch, someone's gonna.
and start the goal line.
Or an Achilles is gonna go. You better did the bat spin first and then did
The fastest runner between
like the Chargers.
Graham Williams
All he was doing was just sprinting.
will
Tell
win a
someone something.
pair of
And you just see him
Oakley
go down. His
prism.
Achilles tore right there. He got like, hopefully he just got sniped.
Compliments of Oakley Eyewear. All right. Graham Williams, are you ready? On the mark. Get set. Go. And away they go. How about a big round of applause for both of our contestants representing Oakley Eyewear. Congratulations to our winner. You're going on with a pair of Oakley Eyewear. And thank you for participating in the Oakley halftime show here at the pass, punt, and kick contest brought to you by Oakley.
Whoever has played the game, right?
Oh, you know, I think that's not No, I mean, will you be down here?
Yeah, I'll be done.
Okay, if anything.
What am I plugging in?
So this will plug into here. These two together,
Yep.
and then this guy will just plug into this guy. So you take your.
Yeah.
Not into the mic, just the mic cable.
Okay.
So they'll plug in together. And then.
Now, please welcome to the field
Are you
the
able to move?
Norte Nighthawk Marching Band. Tonight, the marching band will perform the opening segment to its 2023 show titled Class Pieces. Under the direction of drum majors Ryan McQueen, Sean Wyani, Ellen Russ, and Rohini Fatah, please welcome the Del Norte Nighthawk Marching Band.
Hey, you should have chosen him. No, I hadn't found
Nighthawks fans, now join us and clap along as the band performs the Del Norte High School fight song. Football fans, one more round of applause for your Del Norte High School Nighthawk marching band.
Are you in charge of cleanup afterwards? All those guys All right. Yeah, no, I need to do it.
Now, welcome back to the field of Del Norte High School Nighthawks.
Oh, don't move.
All right, halftime back here at Del Norte High School. Nighthawks lead the Torrey Pines Falcons 17-7. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Oakley. Oakley, a new friend here of Del Norte High School, and I'm blessed to be joined here in the broadcasting booth with one of the representatives, Brendan Rebb. Brendan, appreciate you taking the time. Tell us a little bit about this partnership that you guys have going on.
Yeah, you know, we're really fortunate to be in this partnership with Del Norte High School football. I mean, what we're able to do is provide all the athletes with our Oakley visors, so the exact same visors that the professionals are wearing right now in the NFL. And then on top of that, getting the coaches some eyewear and really just trying to find a way to help elevate the experience of the games here. So, as you can see with the pass, punt, kick halftime show.
So Nick Barnett, head coach of Del Norte football, his motto is always elevate. I just heard you use that term. Was there a bit of collaboration going on there, or was that just a natural word for you to use, and clearly it's working with the culture here as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I think that's the awesome thing about Del Norte here and Coach Nick. We've been able to really identify and figure out what's important to the team here and how can we help. And that's been the thing there is he wants to help elevate the program, help elevate all things when it comes to the football team and Del Norte. So, like I said, we're just happy to be a helping partner.
That's amazing. We're happy to have you. Tell me about Oakley's presence here in San Diego a little bit.
Yeah, so we've got a store in UTC, in our store right there in La Jolla. We have a couple outlets, one in Carlsbad and then one down in San Ysidro as well, Las Americas. So we've got our crew popped up here for the night. So they've had a great time talking to the fans, getting them some experience in the Prism eyewear. And really just helping build community. That's what we're all about right now is finding ways to tap in with the local community and help out where possible. So again, just super fortunate to be out here.
That's amazing. You guys have about a half to get back out here and get some Oakleys. You brought me a bit of eyewear, so not only are you helping the community through philanthropy, you're also making them look better, and I was in desperate need for an upgrade. So what'd you bring me here?
Yeah, we got you our Holbrook right now with our Prism Black Prism Black lens right there, and that's the polarized as well. So we'll really help cut down any glare, whether you're driving, whether you're fishing. And not only that, but it's going to help you look good as well.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I might wear these for the rest of the night. I don't know. I don't care if the sun went down. I don't know how I made it through life to this point without these. These are amazing.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So where can people find you, the work that you guys do throughout San Diego? I know you guys said you have stores throughout. Do you guys do any other philanthropies or partnerships?
Yeah, we're slowly building. You know, that's one thing that we're really trying to get into. So coming back from COVID, knowing that there's a huge need for just building community back. You know, that's one thing that we really noticed. So you'll see us bouncing around from helping out with these high schools to flag football organizations as well. But if you ever have any questions, feel free to hop online or visit our stores. Always easy to find a store near you.
Oh yeah, I feel like I always see you guys around, and I want to go in, and now I'm repping, and I'm going to be wearing these the rest of the season. Brendan, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. And like I said, everybody here speaks so highly of the partnership with Oakley, and we're happy to have you on the broadcast.
Yeah, likewise. Very, very thankful. So thank you.
Absolutely. Brendan Rebb, everybody, as we get you ready for half number 2. All right, half number 2 underway. Del Norte will receive after being up 17-7. And a short kick bouncing through the hands of Ashton Tomlinson. Picks it up inside the 5, and obviously that's the right move. Taken down to the 4.
Yeah, the Nighthawks really need to improve their return game this season. That was a weakness last year. And Ty Olson's had some decent returns. That one is not what we're after.
Hey, Blake, do you like my new eyewear?
I like it, Jonathan, because your future's so bright, huh?
Yeah, Oakley felt the need to give me the sunglasses.
Yeah.
It's not because maybe I need to taper it down a little bit. Anyways, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 9 here for the Nighthawks. Back on offense, 2 touchdowns from Ty Olson, including a 43-yard grab in double coverage. Lucas, too, responded with a touchdown on a handoff to Ryder Young as well. Let's reset our keys to the game here. Anything catch your eye in terms of the keys to the game in that first half, Blake?
Yeah, the Nighthawks so far so good. They've been disciplined on defense, only giving up 1 touchdown. They protected the quarterback up to the very last play of the game, and the Nighthawks have asserted their kicking advantage to assume good field position, shorten their drives, and push Torrey Pines back into longer drives in order to score.
2nd and 7.
Thanks to Toyota Poway for sponsoring that segment.
Schneider has plenty of time, finds that gap, and here he goes using those legs that he's been so proud to develop over the last few years. Gets pushed out of play. Definitely shy of the first down marker, but makes it a more manageable 3rd and short. It was a 6-yard run. And actually, he got a yard past the line to gain, so it was a first down.
And even up to the very end of that run, Schneider shows his maturity and thinking. He extended the ball with his left hand to get an extra yard because the ball is marked where it crosses the line of scrimmage, depending on where it's the out of bounds line, depending on where it's held. So he got an extra yard there, and that may have been a difference.
Schneider with a quick pass to Tomlinson. It's received and quickly taken down after a 6-yard gain. That was exactly the point of that play, though. A quick pass and grab there for Tomlinson, getting his first reception of the young season.
Right, and after bobbling that kickoff, want to get him back in the swing of things, and that's the way to do it. Schneider's just impressive young man.
His dad told me the thing that his dad Paul had seen from Jack in his development this summer was how quickly he was getting the football back out of his hands, something he developed in those 7-on-7 tournaments he played with Team Makasi. Who's now taking over Mount Miguel. Ooh, tough pass. Still Ashton Tomlinson corrals it in as he crosses the 35 down to the 37. Very nearly intercepted by, that was Nick Klein, the DB.
Yeah, you heard the oohs and ahs out of this booth because we had an angle on that. Looked like that could have been grabbed for a pick 6. But fortunately for the Nighthawks, Schneider's ball found his receiver before the defender. And Nighthawks grab a first down, and move the chains.
Crowd getting into it. I'll tell you what, I'm sure these students are very happy to be back in school, but I know that they're even more elated that they're back in the stands for some football. Quick carry by Guzman goes for a gain of 2 on the play.
You know, I think that was someone else in there. That was that.
Oh, you're right.
That was that freshman.
Yep, it was Anthony Matara, the freshman, getting his first varsity carry in his first high school football game on the first week that he's on a high school campus. By the way, Guzman has not been playing a ton. Ryan Remigio's back out there in the backfield. And this looks like a passing personnel for Jack Schneider. Tyler Becker jogs back out there as well.
Well, it's good to see that freshman get his hands on the ball and get comfortable out there after watching the first half and work him out. I like the way the coaching staff did that.
Becker, Tomlinson on the right, Hines and Olson on the left. Backfield occupied by Remigio. Schneider up the middle. Tomlinson receives the dart, and he's taken down in Torrey Pines territory to the 44. Boy, what a bullet.
I like the dart analogy because that's exactly what it is. He just leaned back and threw it right between 2 defenders into the waiting hands of Ashton Tomlinson. There you see right over the middle. Boom, right there. Nice route.
And it was a really good read because John Pryor, who was the linebacker in coverage right there, he took a step forward, and that allowed Tomlinson to get past him, and Schneider recognized that and made Pryor pay.
And Tomlinson floated to the right spot in the secondary, and that's a sign of his seasoning.
Already half as many catches here in this game as he had all season last year. And Schneider doesn't need a ton of time, but he has it. Looking to throw, and on the curl, Becker reels it in.
T-backs, first down.
Pushed out at the 20, maybe the 21. Gain of 23 on the play, and the Nighthawks continuing some continuity. There is a backfield flag.
Oh, no, that looks in the area of holding against the offense, so that one's likely to come back.
See if we can spot it here. Yeah, it was on the outside. Yeah, it was Terry. He made the grab as the DN came around, and he got flagged for it.
Well, the pressure from the blind side, which is Terry's side, forced Schneider out of the pocket. He reacted, but not good.
So that ball goes back into Nighthawk territory at the 46. 1st and 20 from the 46. The line to gain is the 34. Bit of a fullback look here.
Yeah, this is not.
It's not a number I have on my roster. Number 30. Nonetheless, it's a handoff. Vermiglio goes up the middle. Gain of 9 on the play.
Remigio shot like a cannon through the middle of that line. Got a nice gain, got half of those yards back, bringing up a second and about 11 or 12.
Yeah, 2nd and 12. Shotgun look here for Schneider. Another passing look, defense and man. Line holds, pass is lobbed, received.
Remigio.
And how about lining up as a wide receiver as he is finally stuffed at the 34-yard line.
I saw him moving out there into the slot, and I thought that that's not something that they normally do with their running back. Although new offense, I guess, new turns and twists, so it's hard to say what they regularly do. We're not that far into this season, but
yeah, you were right. So he goes out into the slot.
Nice pass, though.
Beautiful. Schneider continuing to show his consistency. Receiver stacked on the strong side. Remigio up the middle, gets 3 out of it. Tackle made for Torrey Pines by Will Barrett, the junior. Torrey Pines next week hosts San Clemente out of South Orange County. Escondido and San Marcos before they hit the road again to Rancho Bernardo, open up league play against El Camino, Mission Hills. They have that big date against Carlsbad, who is
have fun
playing the number 6 team in the nation right now with Julian Sane, the quarterback. They're playing Mater Dei Catholic later. Oh, excuse me, Lincoln's playing Mater Dei Catholic later on next week. Screen pass to Tomlinson, yeah, and a good job to wrap him up was Dawson Washington. And Tomlinson went down in a way that may have been a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, he looks like he injured his leg somehow there. He made a nice grab, made a move on the inside. It looks like he got tripped up. Maybe that injury caused it, because I don't think he was touched by the defender. In the NFL rules, if you fall down and are untouched, you can get up and keep going. It's not possible, and we're not allowed in high school or college ball. But that's what makes me think that the injury caused him to go down, not.
Yeah, it seemed to be non-contact. We won't speculate anything as they'll take a look on him.
Ashton's a basketball player, played on the team last year, came out after football season, and was mostly a bench player, and he's looking to get some time this year. Saw Coach Johnson in here in the booth at the beginning of the game, and so hope Ashton's okay. He's getting up now, needing a little bit of help. Nighthawk trainer, looks like a sprained ankle type of limp. Want to take this occasion to say hello to Griffin O'Connor, former Nighthawk center with all-league honors, who just settled in at the University of Kentucky in Lexington. And we wish the Wildcats all the best from Del Norte.
All right, 17-7 score remains. Tomlinson to the sideline. You probably won't hear anything in terms of that. He is walking under his own power. Good to know. We Won't speculate further. And keep you posted, folks. Anthony Matar, the freshman, back behind Jack Schneider. Little fake sweep, throw up the middle, and almost intercepted. It goes off the fingertips of Ty Olson.
Oh, yeah, right, number 5. I was about to say that Guzman wouldn't have been in. We haven't seen Guzman. I wonder if he's seen him on the sideline.
I think in a game like this, where you're really controlling the game, it makes sense to show as much personnel as you can, right? You want to see what you're working with, and I think that that's the mentality here with this coaching staff. I mean, Martin Hill was sort of in a league of his own here. Last year it was mostly Guzman, a little bit of Nick Condi. This year, I mean, they have a whole running back house that they want to unleash on the football field.
Here's a real long field goal, Jonathan.
47 yards for Trey Coleman. I have a good feeling, though.
Jesus.
It was never in doubt. 20-7, Del Norte leads. Second field goal of the evening for Trey Coleman. And just so perfect, right? Look at the hold by Christensen. Perfect snap by the 5-star long snapper.
Well, Jonathan, that score gives us an opportunity to thank more sponsors of Del Norte football, including those at the diamond level, including the Monraz Company, TMC, owned and operated by the Monraz family, whom we know well, industrial and commercial paving and concrete. Give them a call. And Sheila Godkin, I met her at the reception before the game. Colo Banca West, luxury property specialist and mechanical systems contractor, or MSC for short.
Trey Coleman to boot. Peyton Rogers back there. And a great catch by the ball person back in the...
That's the young fellow who would catch for Mateen Begani last year. And I could watch him and see where the ball was landing, and because he would come in or go back. Towards the end of the season, he was backing up beyond, 5 yards beyond the end of the end zone.
Yeah, he was close to lane 1 on the track.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's 20. Mateen was going 20 yards past the end zone at times.
Yeah, and Trey Coleman is right there.
20-7, Torrey Pines looking for their first drive here of half number 2. Del Norte, good execution, probably not the result they were looking for coming out of the half, but still get points on the board. It's a 2-possession football game, and Torrey Pines has 80 yards to go here. Haven't had the football in quite some time since the 3.5-minute mark, the 2.5-minute mark of half number 1. Here's a sweep from right to left. That's Stephen McKinney, the slot receiver, chugged forward for about 5 on the play, maybe 6.
Jake Gregory closed impressively. It looked like that ball carrier was going to get around the edge.
And another Nighthawk down at the 20-yard line. Let's really quickly run this one back, though. Good space right there. And a productive play for Torrey Pines, but unfortunately, another Nighthawk goes down.
Oh, up there, okay.
And so we will allow him to be tended to.
Well, we got a lot of thank yous to say, and with the break in the action, we'll continue with our gold sponsors. Bradley Hines Realty. Sell high, not a bad idea. Jonathan, that's Oliver Hines' family.
Oh.
And White Glove Golf. Gold sponsor for the Nighthawks, and Sunspired Solar. Find out how much money you could save with solar. And House Fan Pros, your quiet, cool, platinum dealer installer, and Gloss Hair Studio, right here in 4S Ranch.
By the way, Ashton Tomlinson is standing up right now with his quarterback, Jack Schneider and Christopher Guzman. So we know he's okay, at least he looks to be okay. And they're still attending to the Nighthawk down at the 22-yard line. Del Norte at La Costa Canyon next week. That's going to be a grudge match because Del Norte stole Nick Barnett right from the noses of the Mavericks.
Yeah, I was reading the press release that was the Nighthawks put out when Coach Barnett was hired, and there was a very complimentary quote quote from the La Costa Canyon head coach.
There's Coach Barnett now.
Yeah, he said that although he hated to see Nick go, he wished him well and thought he'd have a bright career as a head coach. So far, so good.
After a battle of wits next week against the Mavericks, another road game to open up September in the South Bay. We're headed down to Chula Vista to East Lake against the Titans.
Time to call Apollo Jets on a Friday night.
Hey, if they want to fly us down to San Ysidro, we can take the 10-minute drive up. I'm not complaining. And then back home on the 8th against Liberty. Preseason finale against Poway on the road, no longer part of the Palomar League. They're in the Avocado now, and then Del Norte opens up Palomar League play against Rancho Bernardo and Eric Weddle on September 29th. That will probably be the most advertised game in San Diego. Nick Barnett, a Super Bowl winner from 2012 against Eric Weddle, a Super Bowl winner from 2022.
The battle of the Super Bowl champions.
And first-year head coaches in North County in the same conference.
Crosstown rivals.
There are 8 current head coaches who have played in the NFL. Shane Walton, who's at Bishops, Brian Wagner, who's at Hilltop, David Dunn at Lincoln, Nick Novak at Maranatha Christian, Damon Baldwin at Ramona. We'll see him at the end of the season.
Right.
Eric Weddle, Stephen Cooper, who's at Francis Parker, recently hired, and Nick Barnett. By the way, 3rd and 2 after an 8-yard run by Ryder Young.
As you're talking about this schedule, Jonathan, I wanted to mention a few things. The Nighthawks, they're stepping up to Division II, and we've got 5 D1 opponents this year, 3 D2 opponents, just 1 D3 opponent, and then that Section 8. Where would you classify them as comparable?
Probably like a D3. There's 15 sections in Southern, or 15 divisions in the Southern section, as that play is going the wrong way for Lucas to, it's a sack for Del Norte.
Khaled Farah, the unofficial or maybe official captain of the defense. Every year the Nighthawks have a linebacker who takes on the personality of their toughest player, and Khaled Farah is that personality on the defense this year.
So a loss of 6 on the sack, first sack for Farah. The first of what I would assume will be quite a few this season. 4th and 8, yeah, so I think Liberty is probably on par with the Division III schools. And maybe, I don't think you're going to fake deep in your own territory. I know what you were alluding to here. As Ty Olson is back on the receiving side of the punt, and this time great coverage by the Falcons. They make him go backwards. Catches it at the 40, loses a yard on the return.
Yeah, that was really good coverage. In talking to the coaches at Torrey Pines, they have a seasoned punter, but they were concerned about the inexperience at the long snapper and punter. Their field goal kicker they had last year. But so far they've done a pretty good job, I think, Jonathan, at getting their snaps to the kicker and getting the punter to get his kicks upfield too.
Still a decent start here for Del Norte on drive number 2 of the 3rd quarter.
Nighthawks with a score here might be able to put this game out of reach if they chew up some clock and get it into the beginning of the 4th quarter.
2-possession lead. Torrey Pines has had a couple of big plays, but haven't totally been able to capitalize. Just that lone touchdown on the run by Ryder Young. That was a carry that goes for a gain of 2 on the play.
A little bit of strategy for those of you who might be following along on that side of things. The clock continues to tick after a run. If the Nighthawks were to throw the ball and there's an incompletion, the clock stops. So running the ball successfully shortens the game. Passing it with incompletions extends it. With a lead, you want to run as often as you can.
By the way, Ty Olson's in the right slot. Here's a comeback route and reception made. Ooh, a bit of extracurricular. Oh, you have to be careful. If you are Tyler Becker, he threw the ball right in front of the referee at Peyton Rogers. The referee let both actions go. Interesting. Could have been a double foul. Instead, the referee says no flag either way. You can watch it again here.
Yeah, let him play, I say. But he's clearly out of bounds and being tossed. Becker didn't like it. I can understand that. But
that is a very forgiving ref.
Yeah.
To be basically in the line of that ball when it gets thrown. Could be unsportsmanlike conduct. Nonetheless, though, it's a 3rd and 3. 7-yard gain for Becker. Schneider looking to keep. Finds some space. Dives forward. Out near the 50. Very, very close. One official has it a first down. One has it a bit closer. What do you think, Blake?
I think he's a little short.
That looks like you're right. Couple inches. Maybe an uncut fingernail.
Yeah, they usually give it to you if it's close, so it needs to be clearly. They just seem to have a bias away from actually bringing the chains onto the field and measuring.
Heavy package coming on. Last time we said that, though, was the Ty Olson 43-yard touchdown grab. I don't think that's what we're going to see here. Guzman back out there to the right of Schneider. The big boys up front. Ty Olson, the only receiver on the weak side. Here's Guzman. Oh, he fumbled it. It goes forward. Who has it, though? Torrey Pines says they do. And it is Torrey Pines football. The typically sure-handed Christopher Guzman fumbles on 4th and inches.
It didn't look like he ever got full possession of it. Let's take a look here on the replay. He gets the ball. It's being bobbled right on through the line there.
A botched handoff.
That's too bad there. Boy.
Yeah, you're right. On the transition, it seemed like it caught on his left arm.
Get it one more time here in slow motion.
Yeah, right there.
Nice work by our camera crew, slowing it down, getting a good foot picture of it, and then slowing it down to give us a better view of exactly what happened there. Well, it's no worse than it would be if it had been a turnover on downs.
Well,
actually.
It is, because in the stat book it goes down as a fumble. And I don't think that you want that as a running back.
Right.
1st and 10 here from the 48. Torrey Pines with good field position. Cooper Woodhull takes the sweep out to the right, and it's a loss on the play of 1.
Nothing there.
So after a very productive drive early in the second quarter where we saw Torrey Pines going to a wildcat, they have yet to go back to that. They're now playing with sweeps and still looking to throw the football.
I would have thought they'd come out with that electrifying approach that worked so well. They're really not getting much done with this traditional wing T with number 10-2 at the quarterback slot. They haven't thrown the ball effectively with the exception of one pass, and it was tipped and could have been dropped, but they got away with it.
2-looking pass. And it's caught near side. That's Braden Daly. And he chugs his way for 13 yards.
Boy,
down to the 39.
Wide open in the flat. There was nobody around him. Jake Warren came up, made a nice tackle, though.
It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Falcons. On the Nighthawks, 40-yard line.
Torrey Pines in Nighthawk territory. Big drive here for the boys in white and red. A 4-time San Diego section champion. They tied twice, by the way, Blake, with the same school in 1997 and 2004. So they were named co-champions. Can you name the school? It's a North County school. They play in the Palomar League. Well, they used to, not anymore. They got moved out this year. We'll answer in a second. 2 outright. Being chased. And he throws it away wisely. Anytime Jeremiah Danes is in your rearview mirror, you probably want to get rid of the football.
In a hurry. That stops the clock, too, which is beneficial for a team that's behind to extend the game.
So in 1994, Torrey Pines tied, or 1997, Torrey Pines tied with Vista. In 2004, Torrey Pines tied with Vista again in the section championship. So both of them are co-champions 2 times over, 6 years apart, 7 years apart. On top of that, the first title that Torrey Pines won, Blake, back in 1992, the year before they were in 3A. The section wanted to move them up to 2A, and Torrey Pines sued the section and brought them to court because they didn't think that they were good enough to play in 2A. Well, the courts ruled in favor of the section. Torrey Pines got moved to 2A, and they won their first section championship in school history. Talk about a storybook ending. Here's a run up the middle and into the 15, maybe the 13. On the run by Ryder Young. He has been the most productive back for the Falcons this evening, and he brings them into the red zone.
That was a good-looking play. They set it up well, ran a little counter on the inside, faking one way, bringing the handoff back on the inside, caught the Nighthawks by surprise. This is what that wing T intends to do. Wear you down a little bit, wear you down. You make a mistake by somebody not staying home and protecting and covering a gap, lacking the discipline, and there creates a hole, and you just pop and upfield you go.
Final play of the third quarter comes to an end, and it's a big one for Ryder Young and company. Torrey Pines will have a 1st and 10 from the 12. You want to know the crazy part, Blake, about that story, adding on to the lore of Torrey Pines? So they sue not to be in 2A. They lose. They're in 2A. They beat El Camino. If you remember, El Camino was the powerhouse in San Diego. They were a 3-time champion in a row from 89 to 91. They were heavy favorites, and Torrey Pines, who did not want to be in Division II, goes in and dominates. They win 38-13 against one of the best historically high school football programs in the state of California.
That's a great story, and the attorneys tried to make it not to happen.
Can you imagine if the school got their way?
Yeah.
It would have been a completely different start for this program, and instead they stifled El Camino's 15-game playoff winning streak.
I like it when those things are settled on the field, not
Right.
in the,
I completely agree.
not in the courthouse.
Torrey Pines spent 24 total seasons in the Palomar League. Most recently, in 2013, they won the Palomar League but lost to Oceanside in the Open Division. Now they're in the Avocado League. It is heavily contested over there, and they're trying to find the end zone here to make this game competitive. 20-7, we start the fourth. 2 outright. 2 to the back. He has a receiver, and it's a dime, a touchdown for the Falcons.
Caden Barnett was close to catching up there to that ball. It looked like he had a shot at it, but the quarterback made a nice pass just over the top, finding his receiver in the end zone.
And again, Torrey Pines anticipating cover 0, leaving some gaps out there, and a beautiful pass right into the awaiting arms of Cooper Woodall.
It's an important extra point here.
First touchdown for Cooper Woodall, the junior in his varsity career. So a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown for Torrey Pines. A 1-to-1 ratio, not something that they had last year when they only had 3 passing touchdowns. Ryan Babcock trying to make this a 6-point game. The holder is John Pryor. Babcock's kick splits the uprights. And we have a ball game on our hands, folks. 20-14. A hair into quarter number 4 on night number 1.
It wasn't a particularly good snap, but the holder got it down. You see it comes up a little bit. He's able to bring it down, comes out of his stance to make that happen. Nice play. Yeah, we got a nail biter here, Jonathan.
And that's what athletic director Amanda Waters and I actually talked about prior to the game, Blake. She and I caught up for about 25 minutes. Her second year, I should say, here as the athletic director. Started her career at Carlsbad, went up to Mater Dei, went to Georgia, now back here in northern San Diego. And she said, honestly, I didn't love how we started our season last year because we don't want to play teams that are in lower divisions than us, that people expect us to be. We want to play the powerhouses, the Torrey Pineses, who historically have been dominant, the La Costa Canyons, who are currently one of the best teams in the county, right? They want to set a precedent so that when they get to league play, nothing is harder than what they've already seen. And so they wanted a challenge, and Torrey Pines figuring some things out here in half number 2, giving it to them. Ball taken at the 8.
Oh, yeah.
That is a huge gap up the middle. That's Ryan Omigio across the 45. And he is having an amazing inaugural campaign in the Nighthawks blue and gold.
That was an excellent catch and run. He was up further than he probably should have been, but retreated nicely, came down with the ball. They must have scouted this kicker and said he doesn't have a very strong leg. You'll see he retreats here over his head, gathers himself, finds a lane, good blocking right there, and squirts up the sideline and gets caught from behind, but not after getting a nice gain.
2014 score remains 16 seconds in to quarter number 4, I should say it already. Explosive plays by Torrey Pines and Del Norte. Jack Schneider steps up, keeps, flag is thrown, and it's going to come back. Terry Howe again.
Boy, of all the players on that line, I would have expected Terry Howe to be the one to stay out of trouble. He's got the most experience, and it's costing them.
So instead of a short gain by Jack Schneider, ball will be spotted 10 yards back.
Although it's always important to point out that if the held hadn't occurred, the defender might have been able to get to the quarterback and cause a sack, but hard to tell on that one.
2-yard sack, 10-yard flag.
Right.
Which one would you rather?
I guess you'd rather have the down.
Right? You rather a 2nd and 11 than 1st and 20?
Yeah.
1st and 20 from the 34. Guzman moved out wide. Instead, it's a flip up and into the hands of Oliver Hines, his 4th reception of the evening. And Torrey Pines made an adjustment. There is double coverage on Ty Olson. Jack Schneider being forced to use some of his other weapons. Hines has been productive, and that's a gain of about 5 on the play.
Yeah, Olson's good enough where you don't take him off your receiver list just because he's double covered, but it does make things more difficult. It looked like Hines was open. He had some running room after he caught the ball, but he wasn't able to secure it cleanly and put it away in the direction that he was headed. That slowed him up, and that allowed the Torrey Pines defenders to come grab him before he got loose.
Give that trio out to the strong side, and I think this time may have been on the defense.
Hopefully.
You just want one.
I saw the indication is against Torrey Pines.
It was Dakari Rumpf, the senior defensive lineman. He knew it too. And so Del Norte will get a couple of yards back. 2nd and about 12, maybe 11. Yep, 2nd and 11.
They're not going to re-huddle. I guess the same play call, 2nd and 16, and no different than 2nd and 11.
Guzman gets wrapped up pretty quickly. Gain of 2.5 on the play.
Nighthawks really aren't fooling Torrey Pines the way they were in the first half in terms of popping Guzman free. He's getting hit right at the line of scrimmage and getting short gains for the most part. Nighthawks are in a position here where they'd be forced to punt if they aren't able to convert. So they're going to have to send the ball downfield 9 yards to convert on this 3rd and 8.
20-14 the score. Del Norte had led 20-7. The Falcons responded, and the Nighthawks looking for their own counter. Jack looking, Jack passing, and Tyler Becker is there on the comebacker.
Nice awareness by Becker to get past the first down marker, and when he came back, he was able to catch it and still be ahead of the first down marker. That's the kind of play that Becker and Tomlinson are making this year. Last year didn't quite happen that way.
Gain of 8 on the play. As you mentioned, first down, 1st and 10 from the 45.
Experience matters, and the Nighthawks now have that at that position.
Into Falcon territory.
That's an important first down, keeping this drive going. Shortening the game and pushing Torrey Pines further back for when they do get the ball.
Guzman gets another 3 on the play. So he's come in, and we haven't really seen him erupt. We saw that very first play where he bounced off some would-be tacklers and kept the play alive. But since then, we've seen a trio of running backs being used by the Nighthawks, and Christopher Guzman hasn't really been able to get a ton. He also fumbled on the previous possession.
Yeah, he's largely been contained.
2nd and 7.
But that can change on one play.
Becker in motion. Oh, Schneider looked up the middle. Nobody was there. Decides the keep across the 40, out at the 35. And again, very close to that first down. They're going to spot him a yard short. So a 6-yard keeper for Jack Schneider, 3rd and 1.
He had Becker out in the flat. He pulled it back down. It almost looked like he regretted doing so. And said, I'll just put it under my elbow and take off. And he made a nice run out of it.
But a good job, too, by Torrey Pines. You see the 2 linebackers in the middle adjusting and just cutting off the seam where Schneider wanted to pass it. 3rd quarter, 3 minutes and 6 seconds in.
This is probably 2-down territory, which means if the Nighthawks don't get it here, they'll probably go for it on 4th.
The freshman Anthony Matar is in. There he is on the carry, and he gets the first down.
Strong looking back, huh, Jonathan? He just looks like a bull. He's short and stocky with a low center of gravity, and he just keeps those legs pumping until he gets down, until he's pulled down onto the ground.
Ryan Remiglio comes back in. 1st and 10 from the 33 now for the Nighthawks. Offense continuing to find production. Head coach Nick Burnett calling the plays. Do you know what pick he was in the 2002 NFL draft?
Yeah, he was the 29th pick of the 1st round.
Look at this guy. He did his homework. That's why you're the guru. And flags. It's probably going to be a false start.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to interview Coach Barnett during halftime of a basketball game that I was calling. And you could just tell he's just a great guy, strong leader, dynamic personality, great pedigree. And nothing that's happening here in the good, with all the good news is surprising to me at all. You can just see emanates that kind of leadership. And
3rd all-time leading tackler at Oregon State. Do you know how many career NFL touchdowns he had as a linebacker?
Couple maybe?
Like 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 2. Good job.
Yeah,
You nailed
that
it.
was a guess.
Even your guesses are right, Blake. Schneider finds a ton of room after he evades a potential sack and brings that ball up to the 30. So after a 1st and 15 due to the flag, Schneider gets about 8 yards back on it.
And the clock continues to tick as the Del Norte ball carrier goes down inbounds.
2nd down and 7 for Del Norte.
What other trivia questions can I ask you? Do you know what round Legadou Nene was drafted in by the Chargers?
4th or 5th?
5th round in 07. Caught his first touchdown against Kansas City. That ball taken up to the 29-yard line. Gain of 6, 1 yard short of the first down. They're calling it 2 yards short, so actually a gain of 5. And actually, Legadou Nene had a flea flicker pass to LaDainian Tomlinson.
Really?
Yep. It wasn't a touchdown, but he completed the pass. Remember, he went to Boise State to be a quarterback before he got transferred to wide receiver. Here's a handoff back to the freshman Matar. Gets a yard, maybe 2, and he's going to be short. Ball came out, but he was down prior. And question now here, you have the leg of Trey Coleman to test, but it is 4th and 1.
Kick it.
Yeah, they're going to. Trey Coleman, 7 goals, 3 assists, 17 points on the soccer team in the spring. He was 14 for 14 in PATs a season ago. He was 5 for 5 in field goals. His season long was 41 against Mount Carmel. And he's teeing up his 2nd field goal here of the evening.
And this puts the Nighthawks up by 9 points if he hits it. So even a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, there's movement.
And there's a first down. Defense jumped.
Oh, the Nighthawks are thrilled. As is this color commentator.
You know, the unfortunate part of that play, Blake, is I finally did the math to figure out how long the field goal was, and it doesn't even matter. It would have been a 41-yard attempt. So a 5-yard penalty, and Del Norte gets a freebie.
And that's another series of downs. Even if they don't get the touchdown, they can kick a shorter field goal where Trey Coleman has proven to be fairly automatic in his kicking career.
3 receivers, fullback and a running back.
Guzman back in.
And here he is. A little reverse on the handoff. 4 yards on the gain.
And I think you'll see Schneider here take his good sweet time about getting this team back to the line of scrimmage and let the clock run down.
Clock trickling to 5:15 here in the third quarter. Del Norte was up 17-7 coming out of the break. Field goal, or excuse me, fumble. And then Torrey Pines came back to score. Guzman still in the backfield. In the slot comes Oliver Hines. Guzman finding some space. How about the legwork? Shifting gears very quickly inside the pile and finding extra space. Another Nighthawk is down.
We got a poor spot, though, from the official closest to us, which is going to bring up a third and about 1 or 2.
It looks like Noah Keller limping off.
He's their guard.
Yeah, the junior who plays on both sides of the line.
Yeah, and he's a big kid and pushes people around. He's the kind of player you want on a down coming up like this, 3rd and short.
He's a lacrosse player. Fielded 9 ground balls last year. 3rd and 1. Guzman again chugging through, gets the first down. Taken down near the 8.
Now Torrey Pines has got to start thinking about probably not using their timeouts. It's a little early yet.
Yeah, maybe it's tough. If Del Norte makes this a 2-possession game, you want as much time as possible to retain possession because you need 2 possessions. Probably around 3 minutes. The ball is still on the offensive side. Back coming in is the freshman Anthony Matar in the backfield. And I think this will probably be a handoff. Oh, it's a keeper. And Schneider moves up to the 6. 2 yards on the run. Tackle by Dakari Rumpf.
There's a timeout.
There's the, it makes sense because you have to allow yourself, if you come back and you get a quick touchdown, assuming Del Norte scores, and even if they don't, you have to score. If you're Torrey Pines, you need enough time to either try and get a stop or to recover the onside kick and then come back down and score.
And a team like Torrey, which is more of a running team, is likely going to need more time than, say, a passing team like this Nighthawks are. So clock even more important to them.
2nd and 6. 3:05 remaining here in the ball game. Guzman into the slot. Empty backfield. Strong side showing trips. Schneider milking this. Pocket collapses. Finds some space for a moment before he's taken down back at the line of scrimmage.
A smart play by Schneider not to just throw the ball away, because when he throws the ball away, the clock stops. If he stays in bounds and runs it, more time comes off the clock, or Torrey Pines has to use up a timeout, which is a valuable resource in a game like this.
Kari Rumpf with another tackle. 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Torrey Pines electing not to use the timeout. They know they'll need them when they get the ball back, if they get the ball back, that is, because at this pace, this game might be over.
I'm watching Ty Olson on the left
coverage.
side here.
Can't see it on your screen, but he's all the way on the left hash. Guzman takes the handoff, and immediately he's wrapped up. Great job by Cade Wilkin on the tackle, and Torrey Pines making use of their timeout. Really quickly here, I want to just pay an homage for Torrey Pines. A couple of years ago, I got to call the Open Division Championship here in San Diego section for basketball. It was Cathedral Catholic versus Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines' Nick Herman hit the game-winning shot to send Torrey Pines not only into fame and glory winning the San Diego section, but also into a state championship opportunity. He hit a three as time expired about 34 feet to win the game. They were down by 2. Nick Herman was somebody who was surrounded by cancer his entire life. He had it. His mother unfortunately had it. Nick eventually went to CSUN, where he had to redshirt his freshman year as cancer came back, and unfortunately Nick Herman passed away last year. I had an opportunity to catch up with Nick actually during his redshirt freshman season at CSUN when I was calling games, basketball game for ESPN Plus, and he was always in such good spirits, and we got to reconvene about that moment of him hitting that shot, and not only what it meant to him, but he kept talking about what it meant to Torrey Pines and what it meant to the community. And the program has retired his jersey. There's a Nick Herman page on their athletic website. I implore everybody to go and learn that story. It is so impactful and so special, and our hearts continue to go out to the Torrey Pines family. Field goal is through. It's 23-14, Del Norte, 1:47 to go.
Well, the goal of any drive is always to score a touchdown, but many of the objectives were accomplished by the Nighthawks on that drive because they did score. They made it a 9-point game, which requires 2 scores by Torrey Pines, and they chewed up valuable time off the clock and forced Torrey Pines to use 2 of its timeouts. The Nighthawks are in very good shape as a result of that excellent drive and execution.
Connor Miller, by the way, was the one who kicked the field goal. 24-yard field goal for Connor Miller, sporting number 24.
Interesting. I wonder where Coleman is.
Maybe giving the future. Oh, he's a senior, so you're not really giving the future an opportunity because he's a senior, he gets an opportunity.
Oh, that's an important field goal. I wouldn't have had those kind of guts.
We are seeing all sorts of intriguing storylines from the play callers here. Scoop kick up the middle, taken by Peyton Rogers across the 20 to the 25.
See, that's a return opportunity. I would have deprived.
That's Oscar Peterson, excuse me.
Yeah, I think the Nighthawks with Coleman in the game would have deprived Torrey Pines of. But a few more ticks off the clock. No harm, no foul. They only got another 5 yards out of it. So,
by the way, stay tuned post-game. We're going to chat with our player of the game down on the field. Well, they'll be down on the field. We'll be up here because I think Blake and I want to avoid stairs right now. 1 minute, 39 seconds before Del Norte could go 1-0 on the season and secure their first ever win against the Division I Torrey Pines Falcons. Lucas 2 back out there. Quick flip out to the left, pass is caught and pushed up to the 39 rather.
Nighthawks have Ty Olson in the secondary. He's got the speed and instincts to be a safety valve there if something were to go wrong.
Pass was complete, by the way, to Peyton Rogers. Haven't seen a ton of him in the passing game so far. 3rd reception of the evening.
Nighthawk down. Number 4, it looks like, Khalid Farah.
Yeah, Khalid Farah. 52 solo tackles last year. 71 total tackles led the team. He actually forced a fumble in the opener against Escondido last year. He is rushing off on his own power, which is good.
I think he hurt his wrist. That can get caught between helmets and be painful.
Nine-point ball game. 90 seconds to go.
Clock still ticking.
First down and 10 for the Falcons.
2 back out there, the senior. And somebody forgot the ball somewhere because I don't know if it was snapped or if they were having ground ball practice.
I think the center didn't snap the ball when he was supposed to. And
yeah, so that'll be another.
Everybody moved.
Another flag here. That was Ansu Perez, the center.
Oh no, he snapped it early. The ball came loose.
I think it may have bounced off of his bottom. And actually, no, it did not. It was off his right leg.
Screen.
Yeah, a little screen pass. Oh, and plenty of space.
There's Ty Olson. That's why he's in the game right there.
And a good tackle by Ty Olson out in space after Jake Sweeney takes it all the way up to the 35. He wanted a chop block on that, by the way. Ty Olson came a bit low, but a good enough tackle. Did not elicit a flag.
The clock stops momentarily while the chain gang brings the chains upfield and will start once again.
60 to
once
go.
They planned them.
2 passes, and this time the ball mishandled by Jake Sweeney, incomplete.
Nighthawks actually would have preferred for that completion to have occurred and the ball carrier to then be tackled right away, which would have continued the clock ticking. Instead, the clock stops, 2nd and 10. What Torrey Pines is hoping for is a quick score here and then an onside kick and a Hail Mary.
Here's 2 again, looking, sidearm slinger, 50-50 ball, almost caught by the guy on the ground as it goes through the hands of John Pryor.
Yeah, that was a nice pass. That ball could have been caught up around the 20-yard line with the receiver moving upfield.
Yeah, John Pryor in good position, just couldn't secure the ball.
3rd down now, so they're starting to run out of downs.
Yeah, 3rd and 10, 49 seconds to go in a 2-possession ball game. You got to score quick, and you have to recover the onside kick.
Nighthawk fans on their feet cheering on their defense.
Sold out home side of the stadium. Torrey Pines fans showing out as well on the visitor side. Fans trying to take in this team before a 2-week hiatus when they're on the road. La Costa Canyon and Eastlake. Two back out there. Oh, got knocked down on the throw. It's intercepted. Jake Gregory securing night number 1 for Del Norte.
Ladies and gentlemen, this game is in the refrigerator. The door is shut, the light is out, the eggs are cooling, the butter's getting hard, and the Nighthawks bring glory to Del Sur once again.
Jake Gregory, he didn't have an interception last season. He did have 5 pass deflections, including 36 tackles. And now O'Neal and Jack Schneider. Will bring his team to 1-0 in the new campaign. Perhaps one more snap. These two teams matched up in 2012. Torrey Pines won 34-0. They matched up again in 2013. Torrey Pines won 17-7. It's been nearly a decade since Torrey Pines and Del Norte have played, and Del Norte in this new iteration of what could be a bit of a North County rivalry because Del Norte is on the rise. The Nighthawks get the win. And head coach Nick Barnett, in his first ever head coaching appearance, his debut evening, is undefeated as his team takes down Torrey Pines 23-14. What a great game. We saw explosions all over the place. Ty Olson with a 43-yard touchdown grab. We saw Ryder Young with a touchdown run. We saw Dawson Washington get in with some wildcat opportunity. But at the end of the day, it was the consistency of the offense, it was the power of the defense that brought Del Norte a victory here on the opening night. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. When we return, we will be interviewing our player of the game. Who could it be? We'll all find out together. Keep it here on Del Norte Nest TV. Back in a moment as the Nighthawks take down Torrey Pines 23-14. Back at Del Norte High School. Post-game antics continuing here as the crowd has gone wild. You heard the Nick Barnett chants. How about that? Oftentimes you hear the fan base chanting the head coach's name in high school football, but it's a new era at Del Norte High School, so we're going to get a pair of Nighthawks. I believe we should have Ryan Remigio in a holding pattern and Jack Schneider. Jack's already down there. Ryan's down there as well. And it's going to be Ryan on the other end of the mic. Hey, Ryan, can you hear me? Ryan, can you hear me?
On behalf of Del Norte High School, their faculty and staff, we ask that you please make
Ryan, can you hear me?
to the exit of the stadium. Del Norte High School.
Can you hear me, Ryan? Give me a thumbs up, yeah?
Department asks that you please remember to buckle up and exercise safe driving on your way home.
Can you hear me, though?
Thank you for
We're trying to figure this. It's a new system. You can't hear me. All right, so we will have our technicians take a look at this.
located in the stadium.
Ryan, can you hear me now?
To take on the La Costa Canyon High School Mavericks. Game time is set at 7 p.m.
All right, well, unfortunately, it seems we're having some technical difficulties, and we won't be able then to have the interview, which is unfortunate because Ryan had such a great game, and we were definitely open to chat with him. I actually think that they're going to bring him up here, so stick with us. Ryan Remigio will join us here in just a moment.
Del Norte football tonight.
Oh, I can hear it now.
Good, Blake. Ladies and gentlemen, Blake Isaacson back stadium side here at Nighthawk Stadium, where I'm pleased to introduce to you, what we got right here, there's our camera. Tell me your name, young man.
Ryan Remigio.
Remigio, so we haven't even been pronouncing it right. See, you have a game like that, and now you're famous, and even the announcers start pronouncing your name right. Well, congratulations. That was an outstanding win. How did you play your role here? You're a junior now, right?
Well, I just
Are you junior or
Yeah, I'm a
okay,
junior.
junior. And what level did you play at last year?
JV.
Played JV, and you were the starting running back there?
Yeah.
Did you get moved up to varsity at the end?
For playoffs, yeah.
Saw a couple of, did you get many carries? Any big action? So what happened between last year and this year?
I guess I just stayed focused. I didn't get distracted. I stayed in the weight room. I practiced hard. I get faster, getting stronger, and just staying healthy.
Well, it's certainly worked out, young man. You had a fine out, and we don't have the stats available for you. But whenever you got the ball, you shot right through there. You made some big gains, made some blocks. Catch any passes here? We were targeted on one over there, came down with a nice grab and headed upfield like you knew exactly what you were doing.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So what's this game mean for this team?
Means a lot because we moved up 2 divisions in like the past 2 years, so we're playing harder teams every year.
Right.
And we got something to prove. We want to show everyone that we're a different team. Like we're coming out for everyone.
Good. Well, that's get used to it every week. I was just counting them up. We're D2, but we've got 5 D1 opponents, 3 D2s, and then 1 D3, and then another school who's outside the area. But it looks like you're going to give Christopher Guzman a run for his money there at that starting running back position.
Hope so.
Yeah, but you got another guy behind you, too, who's looked pretty good out there. We got 3 running backs I'm pretty excited about. I think the coaching staff is, too. So what does this mean for you now next week, then? I hear Guzman's kind of taking charge of the younger guys and is coaching them through getting comfortable and all the rest. What was it like playing in front of these big crowd? Didn't have this at JV level.
It's really different. You have it's harder to stay focused because there's there's so much noise, and you just have to really lock in. It's,
Some nerves too.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, young man, you handled it incredibly well. Congratulations. It's a big thrill. This is the guy Jonathan wanted to see up here, and we made it happen. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You can just slip that off and give that back to Jonathan.
For your contingent supporter of Del Norte High School.
All right. Well,
See you on September 8th.
Jonathan.
Appreciation Night.
Why not?
Everybody.
I feel like I should have just saved our conversation for this moment because we just got some good stuff. All right, Jack Schneider, quarterback here at Del Norte. Jack 1-0 on the season. Tell me about the mindset coming into this game and how you guys executed.
Oh, we just knew we had a great game plan. Our coaches put in tons of hours of work, like way more than we practiced, which is saying something. But, yeah, they had a great game plan. We came out here, executed for the most part. Happy to come away with the win. We didn't play the best at some points, but we got the win. That's all you can ask for, you know.
Tell me about your mobility, because we saw a lot of it on display. Obviously, I mean, you had 5 rushing touchdowns last year. It's not like you weren't scrambling and looking to create something out of nothing yourself when plays were to collapse, but it seemed like there were a couple of designs there for you this evening.
Yeah, so I've been working. The whole team's been working with Les Spellman, JP, Coach Chris. So we've been out here working on our speed. So the coaches feel like I can get that and, get the design runs. And they trust me to run it when pass falls apart. So, yeah, that was.
How comfortable does that make you knowing that you can open up the game? Because if you're now threatening on the ground as a dual threat, that opens up the passing game a little bit.
Right. Linebackers might come in. Then
right, exactly.
For sure. So it's great to have. Shout out to Spellman and JP and Chris. So huge thank you to them. But, they're getting us right.
Tell me about this team. How does it feel, right? Game 1 under your belt. I'm sure some of the anticipation stuff is now behind you. How are you feeling about some of the new faces? Ryan Remigio, man, I mean, we just interviewed him.
Yeah.
That dude, he had that on the kickoff where he came forward and then came back and still got 40 yards out of it. I mean, talk about guys like him. You had a rotating backfield here today as well. The freshman Matar got some snaps. What have you seen from these guys?
Yeah, so we got a lot of guys stepping up. I mean, obviously we have a lot of returning seniors, but that's not the whole team. It takes the whole team. So we had a lot of guys step up. Offensive line, we had fresh faces this year. 2 guys just came out this summer, and they're a huge part of this team. And obviously we got our running backs, receivers played great. We got a bunch of defensive step-ups too, so it's a whole team effort, man. It was great for sure.
I talked to your athletic director, Amanda Waters, before tonight's game. We talked for a while, and she said one of the best things that she felt like this program did was schedule these tough opponents prior to Palomar League open up at La Costa Canyon next week, at East Lake in 2 weeks, open up against Torrey Pines. What does that do for you knowing that you have these tough battles coming up, and when you come out of here with a victory, I mean, for the team's confidence, for your own sake, how does that feel?
So we all just trust each other. We know what we can do, and I think that's kind of why they scheduled it like that. They knew we have this entire team just working their tail off, so they schedule like that. They trust us. We trust each other, so that we're going to go out there and get it done.
Jack, there's no place better for me to be than watching you throw a football, man. So I appreciate you honoring us with that, and we're looking forward to the rest of the season.
I am too.
Man. All right, brother. Appreciate you taking the time. We'll get Blake back over here, and we'll wrap things up. Enjoy this headset, Blake. It's a little perspired now. Oh yeah, that's QB1 sweat you're feeling.
Well, I've been doing 2 laps up and down these stadium
so maybe
stairs,
it's your own.
I'm joining the sweat brigade.
All right, final thoughts, Blake Isaacson.
Well, this couldn't have started off any better than it did for the season. I thought one of the most impressive things, I've never seen a group of kids scream the name of their coach, chant the name of their coaches to celebrate the victory. Like, we got our leader, we're excited, we're going to go make this thing happen. I got to tell you, the defense played well. The Nighthawks played against a running team, which has always been a weakness for the Nighthawks. The offense did what I'd expected, which is execute, move the ball upfield, make big plays. I think the sky's the limit for this season. Off to a wonderful start.
Sky's the limit, but it's one game at a time. They're 1-0 now. But tomorrow they wake up and get to work because they have La Costa Canyon next Friday. Hopefully we'll be there. We're still getting some details figured out on that one. Stay tuned to Del Norte's social medias to find out where and when you can watch, if you can watch that game. If not, definitely show up regardless. It's going to be a good one. But once again, Del Norte gets the win here tonight. They're 1-0 on the new season for Blake Isaacson and our entire Nest crew. Huge shout out to Kyle Gilmore and to Daniel Storajuk, who was... This guy is an octopus. He has 8 arms. He's doing like 8 different things at once. It's
and he's got a brother that helps him, Michael. Thank you, Michael.
And little Storajuk as well.
He's bigger than they'll.
My name is Jonathan Rifkin, signing off. The 2023 season is underway, and Del Norte is 1-0. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. We know there's a potential hurricane and tropical storms heading our way, so everybody stay safe, and we can't wait to see you for our next broadcast right here on Nest TV.